Live from the
Valenti compound.
You always say it.
I know.
Beautiful background. Beautiful. Everyone, please check this beautiful background out.
Well, there's Nick stuff here, but
not that background. A lot of championships in this background.
Yeah.
How are you, Mr. Briggs?
I'm awesome.
You're awesome. You look good.
I'm awesome.
Sound good.
I'm ready to
Got
go.
your Sting haircut. You're ready to go.
I did. Not my Sting haircut.
It looks a little Sting.
It's not Sting.
Zach Morris?
No.
Not Zach Morris?
I won't. If it was, I'm not going to say yes. You got that on tape.
Super Bowl week.
Yeah.
Super Bowl week.
Shut everything, all my notifications down. And I'm ready to go.
All right. You're ready to go. I got my Bronco hoodie on.
I wore a Bronco hoodie to work today.
You did?
I did.
Don't you miss this, though?
Like, but you know what?
Are you a little jealous this week?
Every week.
But I'm saying, are you a little jealous, Super Bowl, and we're not involved again?
Of course. But you know what? Patience is a virtue.
It is. It is.
Now,
we're going to get into that.
Kansas City's been 50 years. Hello?
Hey. By the way, let's go over the show real quick.
You do that.
Okay.
I'm not getting it.
We're going to have tonight a special guest, co-worker. We had one Chief fan last week.
Yeah.
We got another big Chief fan this week. Mr. Jim Sickinger is going to be calling in. We're going to be talking Chiefs highs, lows. He's fired up. He's ready. He's worse than me. He said every day so far this week he wore a Chiefs shirt. Every day this week. It's not even Jersey Day yet. He's ready.
I'll never be Jersey Day with you again.
You got in trouble.
I didn't get in trouble. You almost got me thrown in jail.
So let's do this. He's going to be coming on soon. We got our Maryland specialist, Kenny. He's going to be fraud slaying somebody.
Yeah.
He's going to be calling in. We're going to talk.
Does he ever consider himself the fraud?
I don't know. If he frauds himself, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work.
Well,
so let's do this. We're going to talk a little Super Bowl. Jenny Hoops is going to come down with a little hoop segment. But I want to start with this with you.
No.
Okay?
Start with the gorilla in the room to get it.
You want to just...
Yes, because I don't want to have 2 hours of...
I don't either.
I want to stay positive.
Right. Obviously Sunday the news came down.
What happened?
What happened? Kobe, his daughter, the other 7 members on the helicopter. Just a sad story.
Yes.
And listen, you could see by how many people he's touched with all this, remembrance this and all these players and stuff like that. But it's just a sad story, just everything, someone losing a father and a daughter and, like a whole family, like the baseball coach. It's sad. So, I mean, like I said, not that it's not important, it is, but, we want to be.
I think enough's being said about it where it's getting its due. It's due.
Yeah.
I don't want to, I just don't want everybody.
It's sad to bring it,
Yeah.
It's sad. I mean, listen, one of the best players I've ever seen. Why would you have to say that?
I would say this. I was thinking about it on a drive-in. He's probably the first player, even though in basketball it's different because there's only 5 on the court, because Jeter's kind of like this, but not that you from a teenager for 20 years.
Yeah.
That any generation, Lou Alcindor, but the media wasn't what it was.
Yeah.
For that young of an age till now,
because really it was Garnett, and then he did it.
But Garnett, no. But the impact, Garnett didn't have the impact on the game.
No.
But the impact from being that young to playing 20 years to winning 5 championships, I don't think because of TV and media, social media, and this, that he's the first one to really be relevant in that genre. If you think about it, there's been people like you said, 20 years with Minnesota, in Minnesota and Boston and all, but he didn't have the impact on the game, Garnett, as Kobe.
Yeah.
Jeter did it 20 years, but when Jeter's first 2 years, it wasn't the phenom. It was like, I think he could be good. And he turned out to be a Hall of Famer, but he was quiet. He wasn't this blown up phenom.
I like how everyone's doing the 24-second violation or changing the jerseys. I like all that.
I think the All-Star game one team should wear 8, one team
Yeah,
should wear
I like
24.
that. I like that.
Or you pick whatever you want.
I like that.
You don't need numbers on those jerseys.
Yeah. No, I like that idea.
You just don't.
And I think they're gonna do something like that.
I thought so too.
They're saying maybe every team retires 24-8. I mean, some teams already have it retired.
Dallas has.
You know, some teams
Dallas
has
did
it.
it.
Yeah. So.
And of course, the Lakers have it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Do you retire a jersey because of a tragedy, or do you retire because the only other jersey retired is Jackie Robinson that nobody
Everybody
could wear, right?
Yeah.
That's tough.
But like you said, he's not only a special player. You can just see like how, as a father and just everything, and how he, took a lot of these players under his wing and so again, just a tragedy. It was just crazy watching it, and and it's everyone, not just him. It's just everyone on that. It's sad for everyone on that helicopter, like to lose your life, 9 people like that. Just it's a shame.
The whole family.
The whole family, exactly.
You're leaving 2 kids behind.
But
it just it's always, you always feel like when something happens, there's a warning, but it happens anyway.
Yeah.
Like, don't go up because of this. Even the cops, but it was. I hate to say this, it's meant to happen.
The craziest thing though is like all these reports that were coming out. Like who's on it, who's not on it. It's like everyone's trying to get like that first story, and I'm just gonna go with it.
Like I don't know how Rick.
No, he was. I know he was on it, and then they said his family cleared him.
They kept calling him.
Yeah,
I read today. He was like, "I'm on the phone."
Yeah.
And my phone kept ringing. He goes, "I didn't understand it."
Yeah.
But you know what? It's unfortunate.
It really is. It is. But great player, Kobe. I mean,
he's.
Listen.
He's going to be better now. That he's going to be remembered. He was remembered great but
even more.
Like Magic came out and said he was the greatest Laker.
Right.
Okay. He probably is, or he's in the top 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But it's unfortunate. It's such a shame.
It is.
It really such a shame.
Again, we wanted to start with that.
I
want to say it is. I want to, let's go forward.
What's Mike have to say?
Mike's at the Mecca.
He's at MSG?
He's at MSG.
Well, I'm sorry.
So, let's do this.
On a better note?
We're going to start, obviously, it's Super Bowl.
Yes.
But a couple things with you.
With me?
Because, listen, Chief fans, Dave, Jim, who's going to be joining us, this is their first Super Bowl. You and I are spoiled.
Yeah.
We've seen 7.
Yeah.
We've seen 7.
6.
7.
7.
Yeah.
4, 5. Yeah, 7.
We've seen 7. 3 wins, 4 losses.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this, though, and agree or disagree with this one.
Go ahead.
The 4 we lost, they were never close.
And not true.
The Giant one was close.
Right.
The Giant. But I'm saying it wasn't like nail biting. We should have won, we lost. And I like it like that. Just get it over with. There's no what ifs. Get it over with.
You know what?
Get it over with.
Not in the Seattle one.
Well, that hurt because we had, from 98 to 2013, I mean, you're talking a 15-year window. And, I mean, we were all fired up. We're in the Meadowlands. Next thing you know, I woke up. Remember, I had a cold. All I got to say is this. Thank God there was a snowstorm that next day. Remember that? There was a snowstorm, no school. We had to get out of there. But let's get into this.
It was bad.
You and I, Bronco fans, diehard fans, any callers want to chime in?
Anybody.
Give me a couple of your Super Bowl memories. Like I said, you've seen 7 games. You're a diehard Bronco fan. You've seen 7.
All right, my first one comes to mind is TD running blind. That's the helicopter Elway. Those are the 2.
But I'm saying that game, like a Chief fan basically can go and say, I don't know what I'm gonna feel that day.
Absolutely.
What do you like? What did you feel those days? Like, was it just like I'm up at Super Bowl's here? Like the week countdown? Like, were you fired up that whole week, or was it hits you Sunday morning? Hey, we're in the Super Bowl. We're in a Super Bowl in 6 hours.
the one with the lightest one, after losing the other one, I was fired up the whole week, but not victory-wise, fired up nerve-wise. Seattle won.
Super Bowl 50.
Right. Seattle won. I was fired up like we're dominating.
Right.
Big difference.
But you were shocked on that one.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Denver was favored.
I know.
In that game.
It wasn't like it was a double digit.
They were favored. So
yes, I was shocked.
So what did you do? Give me Super Bowl 32. I want to hear what you did. Super Bowl. I didn't watch 32.
32.
We beat Green Bay.
32. I had a
our first title.
I had a party at my house. I got a cake from A&P. And it was a football cake. Had Broncos in one end zone, Packers in the other. My mother made pasta. We were in Garfield.
Okay.
I had some people over. Watching the game. Nervous wreck. Because we were big underdogs.
Big underdog. 13. Yeah.
13.
Yeah. Huge underdogs.
So I'm in shorts and a Bronco shirt. It was snow on the ground, cold. They won the game when they missed the pass. I had my Bronco flag.
John Mobley broke it up.
I had my Bronco flag.
You didn't start running in the street.
Yes.
Did you?
I was in shorts and socks and a short sleeve shirt. I'm running around Summer Avenue with a flag fired up. That was my Super Bowl that year.
And then the next year just came and
it
was right. Sit back. What's it gonna be?
The next year I didn't. Sorry, Tommy, but I didn't have any worries.
But let's get into this though.
Okay.
That year was all about the 14-2 Broncos, 15-1 Vikings. If Ross was joining us,
but that's not what happened.
But I'll say that right. But hey, listen, I didn't want to play the Vikings.
No,
I didn't sit there and say I want to. No way. I'm jumping up and down. Once they lost that game, hey, we're in. If we beat the Jets, and then the Jets were winning 10-0.
That's all right.
The Jets were beating us 10-0.
But did you ever think we were losing that game?
Tiny bit.
I didn't.
Tiny bit.
I didn't.
Then you get to 20. Then we get to 2013. Best offense in history. Fireworks. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. We go into the city. We go into.
That was today. By the way, that was a Wednesday. 6 years. It was today is the anniversary.
The Wednesday night we went.
Wednesday night.
Cold. Remember? We were on
Fox.
We got on Channel 5. We got on Channel 5. We took the pictures. Remember, I dumped the I hit you. We broke the glass.
Snickers.
We broke the Snickers thing. So all in all,
it was.
Were you shocked that day, though?
Shocked. I was shocked.
That Sunday, just like first snap, boom, goes over our heads.
When, you know what? I was done. I'm at the firehouse. What's his name was there from the Bengals? The tight end. Our show. Kevin Brock. We're upstairs. All of a sudden, it kept going. So halftime comes. You know, I lived right down the block. Halftime comes. So I'm going to wait because our offense was so good.
Right.
I'm going to wait till the second half. Let's see what happened to the kickoff.
Took it right to that. Percy Harvin.
I had a tab, drinks, food.
Just left it?
I left. I just friggin' left it.
But then we get to 2015. And
we're in the city.
But hold on. All the marbles are on that. This is it. Peyton's last year as a Bronco.
Yep.
It's basically, we always talk, what do we always joke around and say? Go all in. That game was all in. It was 4 years into one game. It's either all worth it or it wasn't worth it.
Yep.
You know, you get the run, you beat the Steelers. You get the Patriot game, you completely manhandle Brady. It's up on the wall there. Defense rest, if you can see it.
Yep.
We get to Carolina. I'm a nervous wreck. You said to me the whole game.
What did I tell you?
I'm not nervous. I'm not nervous.
I walked in first. Here's the day. How was the day go? What did we do before the game? That's right. What did we do?
We had to go to a birthday party.
We went to a birthday party at the Rollery.
At the Rollery.
At Staten Island.
Right.
Then we drove.
But you're not nervous.
I was not nervous.
At all.
Not nervous at all. You saw it.
Peyton comes out. Boom, boom, boom.
See,
I've always said this to people out. Obviously, Super Bowl 32, our first Super Bowl, is number one. But that Super Bowl 50 was my second, is number two.
It is.
Because
we were the favorite in
98,
30,
right, 33, right.
So, right, but I'll tell you, and I never told you why I was so confident. Never told you. I just said I am. I was thinking on the way driving there. I never, and it's shown to this day, never had faith in Cam Newton. Never. Just now in college, when he was faster and bigger, I get it. But in the pros, I always thought the pressure.
But he was the reigning MVP. Sensational year.
In that game.
And that team blowing teams
I'm
out.
talking about that game.
Okay.
Let me finish. And then Ron Rivera. Let me tell you something. Washington right now, he'll get you to the playoffs.
But that's it.
After you win, if you win the NFC Championship, fire him and hire somebody else for the Super Bowl.
You're not big on him.
No. So when we go in with Vaughn and with that defense going against somebody they're going to beat up, and I was thinking about the other thing. I said to Kurt, when we win this game, not if, you have to do a shot. Because he never does shots. And it was a cheap shot. It was Jagger.
Mark, by the way, Mark saying, "What's up, guys? Go Chiefs!"
All right. It was a shot at fireball. Okay, Kurt, here's your fireball. Now I'm having a great time. I'm singing "We Are the Champions."
There's video.
There's video on that.
Video,
we gotta get that on there.
Oh, now you want it on there.
I'm good.
We might get taken off the air.
That's true. So Kurt takes a sip of it and says, "All right, I'm done.
I'm done."
Now he couldn't celebrate a Super Bowl victory after so many years. Guess what? I made him do it, and he did it.
He did.
He finished it.
But see, to me, that's number two. Is it the same thing with you?
Yes. Oh, was I running the streets in my shorts with a flag in the cold?
Right. No, but I'm saying better than the 98
Yes.
Because the 98 team was our best team.
The 98 team,
that team had a shot to go undefeated.
Thank you,
Ken Graham. Remember Ken Graham?
Ken Graham, tumor. I was at that game.
Me too.
Oh.
Kenny, come on. We'll talk about that.
Oh.
That cost us a lot of money, that game.
You know what? I didn't bet. I was just going like I was in the end zone.
Piedmont knows about that game.
I was in the other end zone.
Piedmont and Captura know about that game.
I was like this.
Yep. But, I'm going to be honest. Being in that stadium that day, I just always knew, it was just bad feeling.
Absolutely.
Bad feeling.
Absolutely.
The Giants are going to go for it on fourth down.
It was
all
almost
that
like
stuff.
The Giant Patriot game during the season when they almost beat them.
Right.
But we got beat.
Right. So, go ahead. We're going to get into this.
What's that?
Are we close, though? Are we close to doing this again?
No.
How many years are we away?
We're at least.
I'm going to say we're 2 years away.
I was going to say 2 to 3 years.
I'm going to say 2 years.
And I'll tell you why. We have to build our line.
And weapons.
Well, they're building weapons. They're building.
Right.
But we have to build our line. Because your boy, when you drafted him, Bosch, oh my God, you were all over him. He came out when in an interview and you were fired up. I'm going to do this.
Yeah, he said, what do you call it? My goal is I protect my wife and quarterback. That's what he said.
Guess what?
Yeah.
So
he didn't say anything about holding. I mean, he can hold 87 times.
He's having dinner with now to learn. Mandarich.
Hey. But we do have the best O-line coach in football at Munchak. And
may he never call a play.
See, this is where Sis said to me, I never said I was sold on Flacco, sold on Kid. I'm 100% sold.
You are.
You were here. Ask Hoops. I wanted Drew Lock. Because you know what? Drew Lock is a kind of – because I'm going to say this. Defense wins championships and all that. We're not going to hold Kansas City for the next 10 years to 17 points.
No.
Not happening. We better get ours on swing. We better score.
Here's the thing. You only need them to hold them one game.
Huh?
Playoff game. You got to get into the playoff.
Right. But I'm saying, Kenny's saying we got to see parts of that stadium that day we didn't know existed. Yep, Kenny, that's right. Kenny will call and say that. Giants, 97, 98 Giants. Cost us a lot of money. Piedmont chiming in. I want Piedmont to chime in on that one.
So let's get back to present day.
Super Bowl.
Get your agenda going.
Okay, so I'm going to get into the Super Bowl. Again, we're going to be waiting a call.
Yeah, you said that they're going to call it 8.
Oh, 8:30.
All right.
Okay?
Oh, I don't care.
Couple questions Super Bowl for you.
All right.
All right?
I'm in.
Give me real quick. I want to know your keys to the game.
Oh, it's easy.
What is it?
Run the ball.
For who?
For Scott.
Oh, by the way, I gave you major props today.
What do you mean?
Major
Whoa,
to
what's
somebody in school today.
Why is that?
Because they were talking about this guy Mark that watches. He'll be chiming in. He said, "Your friend Briggs contradicts everything you say." I said, "That's how it's always been in our
Right,
life."
that's it.
But I said, I will give him credit. He was all in on the San Francisco 49ers. We sat here and I said, they're not going to be bust. You said division winner.
I did.
And a legit. You definitely said NFC West champs.
Yep.
And you said a run, possibly a deep run into the playoffs.
Did.
And you know what? For that, I give you credit.
I did.
Because I was not sold on it. Not sold. So you're saying your key for give me your keys for San Francisco. You're acting like San Francisco is your team. I'm getting a little worried here.
My NFC team.
This is your no.
No, to win.
This is your team.
Bowl.
Okay.
That's my team.
Your team to win the Super Bowl.
Let me tell you something. I'm a Frisco. That's my B team this year. I picked them early because I thought they fulfilled everything I thought they were going to do.
Yeah.
And the Rams went backwards like I thought they were going to do.
But let's get into this. Let's get into the Denver aspect with this. See, finding out now and learning more about it. Shanahan was never going to be that coach for Denver because he wanted control.
Okay.
And listen, John Elway just came off of a Super Bowl in 2015. This is 2017. He ain't giving that control.
I agree.
So,
but you know what?
You can't do that.
He became VP, not GM. So he could have.
But they're still saying it's his team.
Here's what I'm
and Lynch falls in line with him.
Here's what I'm disagreeing about. You don't think because of the relationship that his father had with Elway, and I'm sure he had with Elway growing up, they couldn't make that work.
But I'm saying it. But I'm saying if I say to you, yeah, but listen, you're hired, you do whatever you want. Now you say to me, yeah, but Kurt, I want, and now I start saying, no, I want this. Yeah, but I want. See that.
But Elway's proven he don't know what he's doing.
But he just came off of a Super Bowl.
Nobody
in their right mind is going to go and say, here's the control. I mean. Nobody knows that.
Control, but
but he wanted control
to a point. You don't think they could have said?
But he picked John Lynch.
Yeah, no.
He did. Yes,
Elway
he did.
Hired first.
No, but I'm saying Shanahan picked John. That goes. Shanahan's one and Lynch's two. Shanahan missed that final call. Elway's not going to agree to that. But they
hired,
and not that he should.
But they hired Joseph before Shanahan was hired.
But they interviewed Shanahan.
Yeah, but
I'm saying you're not gonna.
They should have hired Shanahan.
Well, of course. But looking back.
But I said it then.
But I'll tell you this. Where we are now, I'm happy.
Okay.
I really am. I'm happy.
Right.
I'm happy. But let's get to this game. So give me your keys to the game. Kenny's chiming in. Keys for San Francisco. Defense has to come up with at least 2 turnovers.
No.
Agree or disagree?
Disagree. They have to come up with at least 3 sacks, not turnovers.
What do you realistically... This Kansas City offense is one of the best. It's probably the best offense since that 2013 Denver team, where just explosive score all over the field.
No.
What can you realistically say?
No.
San Fran's going to hold you.
No. You're wrong. Their offense last year was better than this year's.
How do you say that?
With Hunt? No, they were.
But
did you look at the season?
But they better now.
But they were held down.
Is better now.
But you're talking about this second. But you said year. They were held to 17 points. They were held down.
But realistically, if I said to you, you're the head coach, you're Shanahan, and I said, seriously, what's the best your defense can do?
I think they can hold this offense to 21 or under.
That's low.
Yeah.
You think they could do that?
Yes. Here, FanDuel had a thing today.
Wait, are you doing it because you're controlling the clock, or are you doing it because your defense is that good?
No, because I think their defense is going to, I'm not saying dominate. I think their defense is going to play well enough to hold them. I'll tell you what I did today. FanDuel had a free thing, and they had questions. What team will go over 30 first? You know what I picked? None. There was a bunch of questions. That was one of them.
Okay.
I think Frisco's beating them, pounding them on the run, but
Big shots down the field.
no, Emmanuel Sanders is the key.
Oh, they got weapons. Well, I read them to you last week.
Right, but Emmanuel Sanders, he's the 10 yards out, the 8-yard curls.
Now,
Then
Kenny,
we're going to open up for Kittle.
Mark is saying Chiefs defense needs to stop San Fran's running game. Kenny's saying you have to stop KC's offense, Briggs. You got to create turnovers or KC will score easily in the third. Easily.
But I think the defense is a top 3 defense. They're not playing Tennessee. They're not playing Houston.
Okay.
Now they're playing a team that has a defense.
Here's my disagreement with you on that, though. I saw that defense not be able to stop Seattle. I saw that defense go into the New Orleans and get put up 45 on them, where they couldn't stop them at all.
But you got to look at there's always letdown games.
Well, I'm just saying that's not a letdown
I
game.
believe the week before New Orleans, they dominated at home.
Probably Green Bay.
Yeah,
but I'm going to say this:
that's the guy
they haven't seen.
you're talking about.
No,
Okay.
They haven't seen an offense nowhere near this. They haven't. They haven't seen a Mahomes is the best quarterback in football. I'll say it again.
Yeah.
Mahomes is a difference maker because he's going to make plays with his feet. He's going to do, listen.
I'll take but he's also hasn't faced this talented of a defense. And you know what? I'm telling you this, you know what my key to the game? The whole game.
That's what I asked you.
One. Who can't win a Super Bowl?
You're going to say Andy Reid.
Right? When push comes to shove, he's going to call the wrong plays.
He don't call the plays. The enemy's calling the plays.
No. Let's be real.
Oh, he does. He's the offensive coordinator.
You got 2 minutes left in the game. It's going through Andy Reid.
Everything goes through Andy Reid.
And he's doing a draw.
Everything.
I have no confidence in him. None.
See, I'm going to say this. I think Frisco has to get to that end of that game.
I think they get to it.
Because
I think they go up.
I'll say this. Just say it's 17-3 San Fran.
Game's over.
I don't think the game's over.
Game's over.
What if it's 17-3 Kansas City? That game's over.
No.
How do you say that?
Because I think
I just don't trust Garoppolo.
You know what? I think they played the perfect game last game because everybody's down on their pass. And so they're defending they're pre-gaming for the run. I love that. Because I think the pass is going to be they're going to come out. It's going to be Sanders, Kittle, watch.
I don't know.
Watch.
I don't know.
That's what I think.
I don't know.
You asked, I told.
Give me an MVP real quick. Who's going to be your MVP? We're going to get into picks, but I'm saying.
I picked that. Who did I pick? Was that one of the questions? No, it wasn't. I think the MVP is going to be.
Garoppolo?
No, I think it's going to be Kittles.
That's a nice, probably nice odds on that.
I think Kittles is going to be MVP.
That's a nice odd one right there.
Because I think Garoppolo to Kittles is a 10-yard over the middle, and he has to make it a 50.
That's a great matchup, though. Kelsey with Kittle.
It is.
I mean, both tight ends.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's a great.
It's a great Super Bowl. Because I'm going to be honest. I think if either of the other teams won, if it was like KC versus Green Bay, KC would have, I think, beat them bad. If it was San Fran versus Tennessee, they would have beat them bad. These are the two best teams this year. They are. They're the two best teams in basic football.
FanDuel had it at 1.5, right? When it opened, it's down to 1.
It's down to 1?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know that. I think it's right, but it's right. It's staying right there.
Now back to 1.5, but this afternoon it was 1. So, it's not 4. Got to remember too. If you're doing a 1.5 point Super Bowl, it's even.
It's even. Right.
It's even.
We got a caller. Hello.
Jim from Cedar Grove.
Jim from Cedar Grove.
Oh, Jim.
You're on with Mr. Valenti and Mr. Briggs. You've never met Mr. Briggs?
No.
Briggs, it's a pleasure. How are you, my friend?
Good. How are you?
I am outstanding.
Congratulations on your team.
Outstanding.
Go ahead.
I'm outstanding. 50 years.
50 years.
50 years.
The only person born back then was Kurt.
See, he's throwing digs already at me, Sick, I got to deal with this guy all night.
Yeah.
You know what? That's all right. You know what? We take the hit. That's all we keep doing.
Hey, so
That's what we're doing on this Wednesday night of Super Bowl.
I was just telling Mr. Briggs before how I saw you earlier in the week, and you told me every day in school I'm wearing a Chiefs shirt, right?
Yeah.
Every day.
Locked in.
He's locked in.
I've already got tomorrow's out.
You got tomorrow's out, and you're going. What are you going Friday with on Jersey Day?
What number?
I think Friday might be Kelsey or a little old school Derek Thomas.
I would do Thomas.
Yep, and we're saving the Mahomes jersey for game time.
Yeah, you got it.
I would do Thomas.
You got it.
You got to do Thomas. That's legacy.
So
Seven sacks, one game.
Yep.
We lost. Dave Craig.
Dave Craig, Seattle. Let me tell you something, though. Thomas at Alabama and at Kansas City, he's definitely deserved to be in the Hall of Fame like he is. Unfortunately, of the tragedy, how he passed away, but awesome.
we're a little divided here, Sick, because I'm riding with you with Kansas City, and Mr. Briggs is taken, and I give Briggs credit because from day one, he was very high on the 49ers this year. He predicted they would win the NFC West.
Coming off a very bad season.
Coming off a bad season. So
You know what? That I respect that. You know what? It's not like they had a lot of wins last year, so you know you're
No.
picking them. I'm solid with that.
He's-
Unfortunately,
he-
he's the wrong pick.
Well,
he does.
So far, I haven't. So
So I want to ask you a couple questions.
Fire away.
Far away.
Hey, listen. If I get too talkative, just give me like the Grammys. Am I going to hear music in the background or?
No, because Kurt will just interrupt you like he always does.
Fire away, man.
All right.
Future. I get interrupted all the time.
Couple
Fire
questions. Give me some of your favorite as a fan. You've been a fan for a long time, like you're saying. 50 years you've waited for the Super Bowl. Give me some of your favorite Chief memories.
There's no memories. He hasn't been in the Super Bowl.
You know what? I know you guys remember this. Well, one that wasn't my favorite memory was the '83 quarterback draft. You want to go back there, guys?
Yeah.
Listen.
We'll go back there. We got John Elway. We're going back there.
Listen, you want to go to Penn
John
State?
Elway.
You want to go to Penn State for your quarterback? You got problems. Todd Blackledge.
Todd Blackledge. We were like, no.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Todd Blackledge. And he even came out and said, on the 30 for 30, I don't know why they picked me. I thought the other guys are better.
Yeah. You know what, that Marino guy, you know.
That would have helped. That would have helped you a little bit.
You know what? And the thing is, the best season they probably had before the last few was when Montana went to the playoffs with him. And he was beyond his best years.
But you know what I
That's
feel?
when Steve Young sent Montana package.
Yeah.
We're like, all right, we'll take Joe. We'll take Joe.
And you had some talent,
Absolutely.
McCoy.
Yeah, that was a great team.
You had some
You know-
nice running
You know what
backs.
I'm afraid of as a Bronco fan, though, and let me see if you admit this too. Like
Getting-
when you had
getting lassoed?
when we had Elway, and you had to go and say, "Oh my God, for 15 years I got to deal with this animal." We got to sit now and say, "Mahomes is only in his second year. We're gonna have to deal with him for the next 15 years." Like that's a problem.
Yeah, you know what? You're right, but I think the difference is, at least the way I see it, back then, guys stayed with one team most of their career. Now, guys, once their contract's up, they're looking for the money. And you know what? I don't know if this Chiefs roster is going to stay the same. I mean, Mahomes is going to stay there, but
Right.
as far as weapons
But
and
here's-
everything else,
Here's where I disagree with Kurt. That statement now, with the free agency, but you have a quarterback anywhere for 10 to 15 years besides Tom Brady. You don't win every year.
No, but this guy's special. He's in our
Elway was
division,
special.
and he's in our division.
Yeah, but Elway was special. Luck was,
Yeah, but-
Luck was special. You can't.
You know, I was telling him, Sick. I was telling him is that Denver's been built on defense the past couple years, but now we got to deal with this guy in Kansas City.
Sure.
We got to score points. We're not going to hold. You're not going in there saying to our defense, "Hey, you better hold Kansas City to 13 to 14 points."
But that's
It's not
not
gonna. It's not going to happen.
No game is like that anymore. You're not. This isn't the 85 Bears and the 86 Giants. Or the,
well, you know what? And also, too, guys, you got to remember, I'm pretty sure you a Broncos fan also?
yes.
Okay, you guys understand when the Chiefs had a great defense, when they had Neil Smith and
Thomas.
CT back there and
Right.
all those guys, we couldn't score points. We
No.
had a great defense, but Schottenheimer was just running the ball all the time.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what? And then even last year, I know Kurt, we talked on many occasions how, you know what, our defense was awful. I wanted Bob Sutton fired last year after week 5.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like the defense that he was running. And sure enough,
Best move of the offseason, Spagnuolo to you
I'm not
for your
a fan.
defensive coordinator.
you know what? Right now it's looking good. In the
It didn't look good early.
You guys didn't know how to play with each other. You know,
No.
But don't you feel more confident going into this? Now, if you were in the Super Bowl and you had Sutton, wouldn't you feel a lot more confident that you got Spagnuolo out? Because I would.
100%. And the Honey Badger.
That's exactly who I was
Yeah.
going to just bring
Yeah,
up.
that was a
He's-
great pickup.
He's the one that changed the aura of that and the personality of that defense.
100%. You walked into that locker room, the two of them walked in, but especially the Honey Badger walked in and said, all right, fellas, listen, it's going to take us a little while to click, but
Yeah.
you know what? Here we go.
And he's better. He's not an elite defensive player.
He does everything.
But
though.
when you put his personality and attitude into his play, it's crazy.
No, he's
He's
a
better
team
now.
leader.
He's better now than he was.
he's
with,
like the leader of that
He's
defense.
better now than he was.
Yeah. I mean, he was great in college, though, too.
He
We
was.
talk all the time, boy, system. Put a guy in the right system.
Yep.
Yeah.
It took a while for these guys to gel. I mean, we lost
He
a
was
lot
at
of
Phoenix before,
games
right? Arizona.
early in the year and a lot of close ones. Because the defense didn't have the time to gel.
Yeah.
I think they're peaking at the right moment. I've never felt more confident.
I'm not. See, here's the thing. I disagree. I'm not sure they're peaking, as opposed they played weak offenses.
Oh, come on.
I'm telling you, because
Briggsy's-
whoa.
I-
I'm not trying to be. Listen, I didn't make it a stay. This is my question: is if you want to have confidence in Houston and that head coach, now the GM, I'll take all bets.
I'll give you
Okay.
that. Okay.
Then you're playing a one-dimensional team, okay? With Ryan Tannehill as your quarterback, who threw, 4 passes?
But that team also just went through. Bill Belichick had no answer.
No.
Went into Baltimore. they had no
But
answer.
Spagnuolo's a good defensive coordinator, right?
You got a point.
But the talent, when you're in an AFC Championship game and you know you got to stop one guy, I'll take that. I will all in, and you have Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, all in, and you have Tom Brady, sure, but no offensive weapons except for Edelman.
Okay.
I'll take Mahomes over that with the defense going all in. That's what I want to do.
By the way, we're getting a comment here, Sick, and this is for you, Mr. Briggs, from Mr. Cuneo. He said, simple. If the 49ers don't put up at least 24 points, they can't win. However, if Kansas City doesn't stop the run, heavy offense, the game slows down, and I see no more than 38 total points in this game.
Don't you see this game?
Mahomes MVP, no question.
Don't you see this game as game planning wise, Giants Buffalo?
I do. But
Yeah.
but
And
Game planning wise, that's all I'm saying.
Drive me up is this extra week. With this extra week and stuff, they would say, this guy's a genius, he can prepare, this and that and everything else. Really, it comes down to going out, having a game plan, and executing. We all know that. You know what? And I feel at this point that we are in good shape.
all right.
All right.
Guy-
Really, outside of people on a fantasy football team, who heard of Raheem Mostert last week?
Right. No, you're right.
No, you're right.
You're right. Totally right.
No.
We got a question for you guys. I'll ask you first, Sick, and then Mr. Briggs
Uh-huh.
is going to answer. It says the over and under is 55. If you guys were betting, which way would you guys bet? Over or under that 55?
Yeah.
Mr. Sickinger?
Brady, you want to go first?
No, you could go.
I'm going over.
I'm going under.
Briggs is I'm going over too.
That's why I'm going under.
I just can't when you have Mahomes, there's no way you can't. You can't.
You gotta. Here's my. I'm going to tell you very quickly my philosophy on this right now.
Kenny's going with you too. He's saying under.
Let's go.
I think this game, the Super Bowl, is bigger than anybody has been through, right? Their halftimes are longer. The pregame is long. It's a whole entity. They haven't been coming out sharp, Kansas City, in the last 2 games.
Okay.
But
But they still put up 90 points.
Well, what I'm telling you is
in
this is
2
different.
games or whatever it was.
Listen, if I told you that Atlanta's would be up like that at halftime against New England, you would have said, there's no way Shanahan and they're going to run. And no. Overthinking. That's why they're not going to score that, because your boy, Andy Reid, overthinks a wild
Why
card
is he
game.
my boy?
Because you said
This is the first time I'm rooting for Andy Reid in my life.
you wanted.
My boy. I want Andy Reid to win. I want to see him win.
No. I just think it's going to be too big, not for Mahomes, too big for the game plan. And the
I don't know.
defense
Sick.
wins.
What do you
that.
think of that? What do you think of
Yeah,
that comment?
Defense
from him?
wins at those games. It was too big for Ron Rivera. That's why we won.
They do have a lot of weapons, and it is really tough. Like, you go on every I never watched this stuff leading up to the Super Bowl, but now I figure, all right, let me take a peek what's going on. It is just these talking heads really overanalyzing everything that's going on right now.
They need to talk.
Taking mics in front of people. They're looking for billboard chatter and stuff like that. It's just a matter of coming out and. It's like I knew we were going to take Derrick Henry out of the game. If we jumped up on the lead, they weren't going to handle the ball.
Nope.
It wasn't going to work.
Nope. I said to Jenny Hoops, who's upstairs, who's going to be on talking basketball in a little bit. Once that game gets to 10 points, that game's over. It's over because they're not going to come back. And they got up till they got to 11, and that was it. They can never make another run at it. But
and I think going back to what you said earlier, I mean, even though they just put in like a Terrell Suggs, that's another voice in the locker room. You got the Honey Badger, you got Frank Clark. These guys, I think, are going to settle everybody down.
Yeah.
You know what? And I think, like you said, we started slow the last 2 weeks. I mean, it's been painful, but I good feeling about this.
You know what? You know why I would be very confident, like, as a Chief fan, is, and agree or disagree with me on this, Briggs. You saw basically in the last 3 playoff games, because if you go back to the AFC Championship game, they were down 20-something. They were down 21 points to New England or whatever that was. Then Mahomes is in a 24-0 hole. Then you're in a 10-0 hole. Mahomes just went boom, 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 no problem. What is Garoppolo going to do if Garoppolo threw 8 passes last week? He's not throwing 8 passes Sunday.
I think that
what's he going to do if they get in a 10-point hole?
I look at it differently. You asked my opinion. I look at it as I have confidence that he follows their game plan. I don't think their game plan is going to be not necessarily what everybody's saying. I think they have confidence. They wouldn't have traded for him to give him that money.
Oh, well,
let me finish because you like to interrupt.
I do not like to interrupt.
I believe that you go with your strengths, or you go with the defense's weaknesses, right? So last week, the weakness was run, and it worked.
Yeah.
I think Shanahan now comes up with what's their weakness. If he thinks they can pass on him, let me finish.
But here's my point. What hole could the Chiefs can't get into any other hole than they've just been in the past 3 games.
Yeah,
what
but they're not
facing
facing a defense like this.
Right, but I'm saying San Fran gets down, you have no idea how Jimmy Garoppolo is going to react. That game can get away from them quick.
I was waiting the full grass to throw that one out there, boys. You know what? You feel confident we know if the Chiefs get down what Mahomes can do. You feel confident. Ricky.
I do.
Hang your hat on the 49ers that Jimmy G is going to rescue you guys. You're going to be down 17, 14 points.
Yes.
You have confidence in that guy?
I don't.
Here's the reason. I have confidence in head coach and I have confidence in the defense to go 3 and out a few times to get there. But I don't think – you got to remember, I'm looking at the game this way. I don't think there's ever going to be a 17-point lead either way.
Oh. Did you think Kansas City was going to be down 24-0 in the first quarter?
It doesn't.
No.
Let me tell you something.
It happens.
Okay.
17.
But when they were down 17-0, I didn't think they were losing. I didn't think they were losing.
So, Masters, give me your – by the way, Sick, you got a special comment from – I'm not going to have to say who it is. You would know who it is. But their comment is, "Hi from Yukon. Go Chiefs."
My girl.
There you go. There you go.
She's up there breathing in the UConn basketball, the women's basketball, the men's basketball.
No, men's, they were up by 20.
There you go. Couple other comments coming in. Lou saying you ain't winning the Super Bowl throwing 8 times.
They're not, but that
Cuneo saying if the Chiefs go up by more than 10, this game goes up in smoke. It will be an air attack Mahomes show. I agree with that.
Of course, because you're not going by game plans. You're going by just throwing it out. Oh, that's it. You're wrong.
See what I got to deal with every week,
You're
Sickinger,
wrong.
with this
You're
guy?
wrong.
You know what? He brings up some valid points.
You're
I
wrong.
just like the way you guys like to step on each other's toes.
Oh, of course. Of
We've been
course.
doing it for almost 40
We've
years.
been doing it for
What are you
40
gonna
years.
do?
So I want to ask you a couple questions now, Sick, okay?
Fire away.
How did you – 2 things. How did you – and I kind of talked to you the other day in the office, but I want Briggsy to hear it, the audience to hear it. How did you watch the AFC Championship game?
With his eyes.
Were you home? And what was going through your mind that day? And like, especially when there's 10 minutes left, and 5 minutes left, and 3 minutes, and you're just saying, we're finally going to the Super Bowl. What's going through your mind?
You know what? My niece was sitting behind me. My niece is like 32, and she's sitting behind me, and she was filming me the whole time. You know, we're not going to release this to the public, but I got to be honest. Like, looking back, you know, I got excited. Like, you know what? Then at the end, it was just like, wow. You know, like you Broncos fans, over the years, you've been spoiled.
Yeah.
Spoiled.
We have.
Yes.
And I'm a Yankee fan. I've been spoiled. Like,
Yep.
I will tell you this. I agree with you that it shouldn't be filmed. But when we won Super Bowl 50, I was filmed, and Kurt has it.
That's going to be released to the public.
That's been released. It will be re-released just for the show because you know what? It was worth it.
How are you going to? Yeah.
You don't want to see the one last year when D4 was offside?
No.
That's not good for television.
No.
No.
That was not good.
I will tell you this: we can't even play ours on YouTube because they took out the music. Because We Are the Champions were playing.
That's going on. We're going to put that on. So how are you going to watch?
Where are you watching the Super Bowl?
Same chair, same Mahomes jersey, and my nephew gave me a little Mahomes Christmas. He sits in front of the TV now.
So you're staying home.
He's staying home.
I'm staying home. I'm staying.
If you need another little chief, just get a jersey for Kurt. He can sit right next to you.
I'll never put a Chief. I'm rooting for the Chiefs. That's never going on. No way. I'm never putting a Chief jersey on.
Yeah,
I got it.
He's also got a Osweiler jersey.
I do have an Osweiler jersey.
You know, Kurt's on the whim. Whoever's you know what? If you went and LA signed you, he'd get your jersey.
Oh, stop. That's not true. I don't have a Trevor Simeon jersey or a Case Keenum jersey. Not true. I do have a Joe Flacco jersey.
You are right. And how's that Paxton Lynch jersey working?
How's that doing?
That was never worn. If I were to buy that, I'd be washing the side on with that. There's no way I'm spending that money. No way. So
Kurt, you know what Kurt does? He goes on a website from Japan, and he just puts in all the Broncos names, and just buys the jerseys for $20 a piece.
By the way, Mr. Jeremy Gorange chiming in saying there he is that you're on live. So Jeremy's here. Now, he's a Jet fan. We feel bad for him. He's a Jet fan and a Nick fan.
I feel bad.
He's a Jet, Nick, and Met fan.
I feel bad because you're head coach.
You know? Jeremy's asking where's Polino. He wants to know where Polino is.
Jet fan also.
Another Jet fan.
Jet Met.
All right, so I heard from Mr. What?
Everybody's jumping on the bandwagon. Everybody's jumping on. I think, come on. I got more phone calls from people going sick. I think you're the only Chiefs fan that I've ever known.
Yeah, well, you and Chalabi, the only ones I know.
No, we had somebody.
Who?
I
don't know anybody. Chief fan.
I gotta think.
I don't.
No Dell, Chiefs stuff.
Chiefs fan. There was somebody in our
Jump
class.
on.
That's it.
Got the cheetah. He's ready to go. Handling everything well. Chris Jones could be healthy. So we got 30 games Thornton finally playing the way he should in secondary.
Yeah. Then you got Nick Bosa taking Mahomes out in the first quarter.
Oh, come on. Stop.
Let's go.
Jeremy said, I feel bad too. But you said you feel bad about the coach.
Yeah.
He feels bad too. All right, so here we go. You're a coach. I want to know your game. What's your game plan if you're Kansas City this week? Offense and defense.
Oh, my Lord.
You know what? They're going to take what they give them, which is smart because, you know what? Everybody thinks they go as fast. No, they'll work Kelsey in the middle of the field. Damien Williams is really, him coming back and being healthy in the run game is awesome. Because I got to be honest, every time LaShawn McCoy holds the ball out like a loaf of bread, I know this guy's going to the Hall of Fame, but this guy gives me a heart attack every time he
So let me ask you this: on running back, does any of your running backs go over 100?
No.
Okay.
Damien Williams, because he'll give me those swing pads, check downs out of the backfield, and then if he gives me 70, 80 yards, he'll give me those tough runs down by the goal line. I'm good with that.
All right.
You know what?
I didn't say you had to. I'm just curious if you thought they would.
No, I don't think the Chiefs. If they do get over 100 yards rushing, it'll be a shocker to me.
Yeah.
What about Mahomes, running wise?
Done.
Do you think is his running again part of the game plan, or?
No, I think that just happens.
Yes, you're correct. Yes, he's correct.
Watching when he's flushed out of the pocket, he's going. He's flushed. He's on the run. You know what he's thinking? I'm gonna send this thing 40 yards down the field.
Right.
Then he's like, you know what? What's my next look while I'm running? Maybe I'll tough this up. Then he's like, you know what? I'm gonna get 15 yards to get out of bounds before I get hit.
Yeah, he's gonna take what they give him, and it's gonna be nothing.
And you two, and let's say you guys. I mean, like you're saying, like knowing that he's gonna play for. How smart is this kid? And the fact that he's only 24 years old.
Listen.
How mature
I'm not taking nothing away. He's phenomenal. Phenomenal.
I'm giving that.
My pick with Frisco isn't any way this against Mahomes. I think he's the best player in the league. He's on the verge of being.
Ricky, you're saying with your heart. I like that. You went out on the limb.
He did.
Yeah, but I think
you're riding that horse to the finish line. I respect it.
And I think though Mahomes he's going to be the Michael Jordan because not the greatest of all. I don't know if he'll be the greatest. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about because of social media and because of the way he plays, he's going to be the darling of the NFL.
Yeah, he's the face. He's going to be the face of the NFL
for years.
Yeah.
I just don't think. I think he's going to go over the hump when they bring in a young offensive coach. Is it Andy Reid?
You got the enemy.
No, head coach.
Oh.
What help are you looking for him to go over right now?
I don't trust. I just don't trust Andy Reid to win the big game. I don't trust Andy Reid. I don't trust John Fox, Ron Rivera. There's a whole list of coaches that will get you to the glass ceiling. Bill O'Brien, get you to the glass ceiling, but won't be able to break the glass. The next guy will break that glass.
But can I throw this out there?
Absolutely.
Does he need this Super Bowl win to legitimize him as a Hall of Fame coach?
I don't think he's a whole. If Jimmy Johnson had to wait this long to get in, and Bill Cowher, I don't think Andy Reid's a Hall of Fame coach.
But they got in.
It took him two Super Bowls.
But coaches are different than players. Mike Shanahan's not in.
Right, so I don't think Andy Reid should get it.
Mike Shanahan has 2 Super Bowls.
I don't think Andy Reid should get it.
He's not going to be a first. None of these guys are first ballot. I
No.
mean, Belichick might be, but these other guys
If it's going to take you 20 years to get in by the committee that is the like you have to get it. We have to vote people in. No, I don't think he's a Hall of Fame
Now,
coach.
all right, Sick, here's another comment. I want to know if you're worried about. I'm going to give you 3 comments that Lou was just mentioning. Okay, tell me if you're worried about this at all. He's basically saying the Chiefs have not faced a defensive front like the 49ers all year. They're going to smack Mahomes around. All right, like that's kind of been like in a lot of Super Bowls. We watched it. Listen, we were all giddy with Denver in 2013. We played Seattle, and Seattle just, smacked us around like a rag doll. Denver did the same thing to Carolina and Cam Newton in 2015. Are you worried at all about a statement like that?
not with that this is the healthiest offensive line that's been all year. You know what? They've dinged up. They replaced, a lot of guys filling in, which is spots.
Okay.
You know what? You look at his numbers. He's only been sacked how many times? And that's part of the progression too. Like, when you get pressure, throw the ball out of bounds. He figures things out. He sees the game, and that's the great guys do. They see the game a little bit differently.
See,
If he gets hit, he's a tough kid. He's gonna get right back up and go right after.
my thing is, and Kurt, who do I think is the smartest people in football?
Defensive coordinator.
Defensive coordinators. I think they're going to sit there and hours and hours and hours and hours, because if this was, and that's what Seattle did against Denver, and Denver's offense was better than this offense.
No.
Really? Oh, that's wrong.
No.
Absolutely.
Kansas City has better weapons.
They don't have a better running back. They don't have Thomas.
They didn't have anybody like Tyreek Hill. We didn't have
No, but Thomas wasn't far off.
No, he wasn't far off, but I would say this Kansas
So
City
you're telling me Peyton Manning isn't, at that time, that year, had a better year than Mahomes is having this year?
They're close. I mean,
Right.
the difference is they're
close.
better, but
But-
Mahomes is a different kind of
just
player.
My thing, what that game told me was when we sit here and we go, the whole year, this would happen, these games, this would happen. The Super Bowl overwhelmed that team. It was too big for them.
Yeah, it did.
That's why, could it be too big for Frisco too? Absolutely. But I think as a defensive team, that's the one I want if something's too big for someone. I want the defense because you know what? You put it, if you're coming in nervous,
Oh, no,
you put the pressure on.
I agree with you on that. The history shows the defense beats the best quarterback. But I just think this year, and I said this to you in the hallway yesterday, Sick, I really believe that in that whole stuff happens. And you know what? What I say the other day, they were supposed to go to New England. New England gets beat by the Dolphins. Now they become the 2 seed. Okay, but now next week, even if they win, they got to go into Baltimore. Baltimore wins, they host the AFC Championship game. It's 50 years from the last Super Bowl. Andy Reid is due. It's just the Chiefs' year.
This is how we think differently. I think that hurts them. I think if I'm that good of a team, my offense is that good, I want to play the best teams to prepare me for the Super Bowl. I don't want to play the worst teams.
Why? Why would you? I wouldn't want to.
Because you're playing the best team from the NFC.
But so what?
No, I don't agree with that.
They didn't play the best teams.
I don't agree.
Wait. San Fran didn't play the best teams in the playoffs. But Seattle was better than Green Bay. Even though Seattle should have beat them twice.
But they didn't twice.
I mean, they had them twice. But San Fran was San Fran was an inch away from being the 5 seed.
Yeah, but dude, go by seeds.
Oh, shoot, they're not. You think they go to Super Bowl if they don't have home field?
Yeah.
No way. No way.
There was listen.
No way.
You know what? The most disappointing team, the most BS team this year was the Saints. They should go in their hole.
Yeah, I agree with you.
For the next year, after last year, if they didn't come out, and you know what? That's head coach.
But
no fire.
Sick, agree or disagree with this?
A month ago, everybody thought the Super Bowl was going to be the Saints and the Ravens.
Right.
Not me.
The Ravens.
Right.
That's what everybody thought. And you know what? I was part of it too. I was thinking, boy, these look like the 2 best teams right now.
But here,
you play that in your hands in front of you. You got to put a big shout out to this Magic beating.
Exactly.
Yeah. How's that make sense?
But
things happen for a reason.
Absolutely. And you know what? Here's the thing that I look at when Briggs says to me, "Oh yeah, but Kansas City's never faced a defense like San Francisco." But I've also seen San Francisco face one really good offense this year, and that offense was the New Orleans Saints. Right. And the Saints put up 45 points on them. So,
See, that's where you're wrong. That's where you're wrong.
You got weapons, man. Like you said, you got really
how'd they do? They played the Rams tough.
You got Cole Hardman. You got Kelsey. You know what? And like you were saying about Demarius Thomas, Briggs will go back to that point in 1 second. Like, Tyreek Hill doesn't need the ball because when he runs deep post pattern or goes down the field, 2 guys chasing down the field.
You got to double team him. You got to double team him.
Double team somebody. I don't think that's like you said. First, that's the point I was going to bring up. They played one good offense this year and they got smoked.
Yeah, they did. They did.
I don't think that San Francisco has a good defense. I'm just hoping the Chiefs get out early, score some points, and we bring the Lamar Hunt trophy back to the ball.
Yeah.
We're getting a comment. Eddie Sis is saying he said it last week. The difference maker this Sunday is Steve Spagnuolo.
He said it, but I don't believe it.
All right, last thing, Sickinger.
Fire away. This is awesome, by the way, gentlemen.
All right.
I
love it.
next week. I want to come on next week for the Super Bowl celebration.
Oh, you got it.
Listen, as long as you have like a retro jersey on, Steve Young, Joe Montana,
Oh,
you're
come
on.
on. Come on.
You're on.
Come on, Briggsy.
Yeah, Jerry Rice.
Ricky, I might be in studio.
Come
Oh,
on.
you know what? Come in.
Here's a rule, though. You got to bring pizza.
By the way, you know what he didn't see?
What?
Are you watching this live or you're just on the phone right now?
I'm a caveman. I don't have Facebook.
All right.
My phone's blown up right now when people have Facebook. I have nothing.
I got to put this on YouTube. I'm going to get it on YouTube because I want you to see the background that we have of our Bronco background.
Yes.
It's
Just take a picture.
It's
and
phenomenal.
send it to him.
It's phenomenal. Now, last thing for you, by the way,
You already
Goran
said that
saying,
one.
what? Jeff Polino is joining us now. Polino has joined us. Yep, he's Zoom. He's watching live.
That's my teaching part.
He said Sickinger's spitting hot takes right now. Here we go.
Hey, Kurt, you're spitting.
The moment of truth. Super Bowl pick. Give me a score. Give me an MVP.
Well, we know his pick.
Well, I want to hear what he says.
Obviously, it's going to be the Chiefs. I'm thinking somewhere in the 35-24 range.
35-24.
All right.
And obviously Mahomes MVP.
Yeah, you know what? He would
Quarterback.
Game, something like that. You know, they're gonna want to give it to the kid. You know what? And rightfully so.
How many touchdowns, Mahomes?
Well, 3.
What's the over? You know what? I think 3.
2.5. 2.5. I saw it last night.
Is that what you're saying?
Well, he said that, I think the thing was 2. He was 2.5, and Garoppolo was 1.5. Touchdown passes.
You know, Thomas, I'm going to leave you with this right now, all right? Before I come back next week for this victory celebration. Sitting in front of my computer right now, I have a screensaver thing. Somebody did a thing. It's Mahomes with his arm around Lendor.
What was he helping him up?
It's an omen. It's an omen, Sick. It's an omen.
I'm staring at that right now.
You look,
50 years. Chiefs beating the Vikings. A young Jim Sickinger, 5 years old, sitting in front of black and white TV, not even knowing what's going on. But I heard my man Hank Strand saying, let's matriculate the ball down the field. That's all I need to know.
There you go.
all right. Good. Listen,
Gentlemen,
Good luck.
I don't have a horse either way, so good luck for you. It's just not my pick.
It's not Briggsy's pick. And then you know what I love too? I'm going to leave you with this, Sickinger. You know why else I want you guys to win? Because next year when we're locked and loaded and we unlock the lock in Drew Lock, we're coming. We're coming. We want the champs.
We're buying tickets for that game when you play in the next Super Bowl.
We want the champs, baby. We want the champs next year.
you know
So
what? I willingly accept the challenge.
there you go.
All right.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
very
calling
much for
in.
calling in.
Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure.
It is a
I'll see
pleasure.
you guys next week from parking lot of Arrowhead.
There you go.
After they win.
Oh,
Road
nice.
trip.
There you go.
That's a road
Thank
trip.
you for coming on.
Thanks for coming on. Let's go.
All right, boys, take it easy.
All
Take it
right.
easy.
Thank you to Mr. Sickinger.
Yes.
Polino is saying Sickinger's picking the Chiefs. Load up on the 49ers, folks.
That's
Lewis,
what I do with him.
Another Mike is chiming in saying the Chiefs win this year, the Raiders win next year. He better be joking on that.
Well, Brady will be quarterbacking them next year.
Lou is saying, hey, Briggsy, he's calling Bosa for MVP.
I saw that.
And he shot with that.
Yes.
Briggsy defense wins championships. They do.
Yeah.
They do. It's
Yeah.
just, I don't know. I'm just so torn on this.
No, you're not.
This reminds me of, seriously though, 2015.
You know how embarrassing it is for you to root for Kansas City?
Why?
They're
Why?
a division
So?
rivals. No,
So what?
you don't do that.
Why?
You know,
Why?
because you just don't.
Explain to me why.
Because you have to root against our division rivals. If it was New England, I get it.
What? No, New England. See, I'm gonna ask. I don't feel that. I don't feel right now.
That ended when Peyton retired.
Right, but but I'm saying I don't like right now. To me, I still feel more hatred towards New England than Kansas City. Like, we got to get that rivalry.
No.
You know what? We haven't beat them. It's not a rivalry when you always lose.
That division, everybody's.
Yeah, but we always lose. You're gonna beat them in 9 times.
No.
I mean, you got to be kidding me.
You picked them then 9 times. So.
You know, what is your Lou made another great point too. We were talking about like defense Super Bowls. The Giants completely shutting down Brady. You know, just in those Super Bowls. I mean, but that's the Spagnuolo factor. See, again.
But they had talent.
I will say this.
You're not giving Frisco's offense any kind of love. That's ridiculous.
Lou saying, I would never in my life root for the Giants, Phillies, or Cowboys ever.
Exactly.
But I don't know. I see where Lou's coming from. I do.
I just said the same
I
thing.
see it a little bit, but
Lou, it comes from you, but when I say it, it's an argument.
But is it really a rivalry right now? You know, is that real? That's the thing. Is like you feel a rivalry right now with Kansas City?
The whole division that division has more rivalries than other divisions.
I understand
Maybe the
that,
NFC East too, but that's it.
But I don't know. I don't know. Listen. Now if they win, like I was joking in, but if they win and now all of a sudden next year, now Now it's back to all right. Let's go. Now it's Broncos Chiefs. But
the thing is, we lost our talent, our offensive. But how many? What Super Bowl is this? 50 what?
4.
Okay, so 4 years ago, you tell me it wasn't a rivalry. But I'm telling you, 4 years ago wasn't a rivalry when we were winning. That's ridiculous.
It was. Oh, we got Jenny Hoops here.
Jenny Hoops
here. Please save me from this guy over here.
I told you I was fired up. By the way, Jenny Hoops, what is your last name?
My last name is Valenti.
Wait, you got to get on board. You got to get on board.
My last name is Valenti.
Your last name is Valenti. How would I know that?
Well, I don't know if you would know it by this.
Well, I was at your wedding and I see the ring, but for some reason the husband doesn't have the ring again.
Because I weighed myself tonight and I had to be another 3 pounds lighter, and that ring is so heavy.
You know, Jen, I don't know, but you know, when I saw before the show, I made the eye contact with you that he wasn't wearing it.
I almost brought it down. Yeah.
You should have. Why didn't you?
You know what?
I'm not bailing you out.
You know what you should do? We make it like the ring from Lord of the Rings. We put her on a necklace and see where it ends up. Because it ain't out of finger.
You have a habit of like banging the table. You're going to bang it and chip it and scratch it.
Yeah, right.
I can't afford that. I can't go into that. So Jenny Hoops is here.
Yeah, she's here to talk about baseball.
Real quick, give me your prediction, Super Bowl.
Ooh, I wasn't prepared for that question.
Well, how could you not be prepared? Everybody in America's on it, right?
Thought about it.
Who are you picking?
I'm picking Kansas City.
Score?
Ooh,
Yeah,
that I definitely haven't thought about. I'm going to go 24-21.
You know what? I gave him credit, though, and I never give him credit.
Because you're not fair.
From day one, he was very, very high on the San Francisco 49ers. So he did. He picked it. And I sat there and I said, no way. They're fraud, right, Jimmy. But now, let me ask you this. You have rivalries, whatever. He's saying I shouldn't be rooting for the Chiefs because they are a rival, the Broncos. They are in our division. They're in AFC. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't think I can give you a clear yes or no definitive answer. I mean, I understand that thinking, but I think there's certain teams, if there's something likable about Kansas City, you know, I do want to see, you know, Andy Reid win.
Me too.
I like Mahomes. And, you know, the whole destiny, it's meant to be, things that hand out for
absolutely.
them. And, you you can kind of get caught up in that story.
Mr. Sullivan saying good girl, Kansas City all the way. All right, so let's get into some hoops. Briggsy's hoops is his FanDuel hoops. You like hoops, right? You into hoops yet or not?
I've been watching everything.
So you've been watching everything. So let's do this. Hoops goes first. Give me your
So,
top.
by the way, Frisco was 4-12. Now they're in the Super Bowl.
Listen, I give you credit. I told 3 people in work. I told her. I told Sickinger. How many people do you want? Do you want it written?
Say why.
Do you want it written? Because you were right.
I got it on video.
You
Yeah,
were.
I don't need it written.
You were right.
Because if it's written, he'll say it's not his handwriting.
You were right. I was wrong. You were right.
I'm done.
That's it.
Show's done.
That's it.
Like, just close
That's
up
it.
shop. I'm stunned.
That would be going like this.
Where's Bella, by the way?
I don't know if you heard her barking.
I did.
I might have to have an exodus. She
I
might
did.
be,
All right, real quick.
Yeah.
Give me she's up first. Give me
Yeah.
your top 6 college basketball right now.
I know you're not going to like my answer because
No?
it's hard
If you
to
say
give.
Virginia, I'm leaving.
Oh, no,
She's not
trust
saying
me,
Virginia.
Trust me. I have trouble watching
She's
this
down on
older.
Virginia this year. Even
I
last
hope
year
so.
after the game.
I mean, if we score 50 points, we
Hey,
can beat them.
they had a great win last night.
They did.
Yeah.
They did.
It's hard to do 6 in the way things are going. So I
We have
do
to
think
do
I
six.
do. Well, let me finish.
Do
I'll get there.
six.
You're like
I like
you're
this.
you don't let me finish.
All right,
I'm
I'm
getting
done.
there.
I'm happy. You guys are
It's
here.
hard to do. Just pick 6.
So I'm giving the background knowledge. So
Okay.
the top 3 I think are pretty legit: Baylor, Gonzaga, and Kansas. Then I have like a second tier that I would consider,
Okay.
like a Michigan State, Kentucky, Duke, and Villanova. And I know they're all mixed throughout there. And then I do think you have to give credence to San Diego State and Dayton. So I know that's how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I know that's 9, but I don't know. It's hard. The reason I'm saying you can't pick 6 is because the things are all over the place this year. So
I'll
kind of
I'll
the
redefine
tiers
the
I
question.
have. Mhm.
Out of your top 9,
Yep.
based on history, based on everything,
Mm-hmm.
how many of them do you think could actually win the championship?
Oh,
Good question.
and that was your kind of follow-up question. Like my final 4.
Your final 4 today.
would be definitely. I kind of feel like it's Gonzaga's year. That's I
Well,
just
I
feel
thought
like
that a
this
few
is.
years ago, and
this
it's
is-
disappointing.
But I feel like the field is leaning towards like they can do it like every year. But I feel
Yes.
like this year, kind of the field is
It's coming back to them.
beneficial to them.
Whoa. Mike Sullivan is saying, shut up, guys. Let her talk.
Oh, I don't know who Mike Sullivan is, but thank you, Mike Sullivan.
But he would know the show.
I think Michigan State has a chance to be there, and I think come tournament time, the tried and true programs with experience and the coaches who have been there are going to come through in this type of field this year. So I do think of Michigan State. I do think of Villanova.
Yeah.
I do think of Kentucky, and I do think of Duke. And that's not just jumping on the bandwagon. I just think the way the field is this year, I don't think San Diego State, they could, but I don't think that they don't have that experience. And
What do you
come
think of
tournament
that? See,
time,
I-
I was still talking.
Okay.
I don't know why you interrupted her. God.
Lou's saying Michigan State and Duke, which goes to what you're saying.
I will tell you this. I think Baylor's going to end up the biggest fraud. I just
In
in
one
clutch,
big road
I was
game.
just gonna say they got some big wins.
that whole league,
Yeah.
that whole division, though, the whole league is big.
But they stepped outside.
But I don't-
They beat a
Right.
Big East
But-
team, an SEC team on the road. They beat
I
Kansas
just-
at Kansas.
Based on history, I don't think they're a Final Four team.
And I agree. Coming to there, I don't think they're a fraud because I
No,
think they're legit.
they're number one.
But I do
Right, what he's
think
saying
that-
is
I
they're
agree.
not going
They're
to.
number
I agree.
one.
Well, no,
Yeah.
he started with they're a fraud, so
No,
I don't think they're a
Meaning
fraud.
fraud
I think they're
as
not
the
going to
ranking
get.
right now. I don't
Yeah.
think in the end they're going to be that.
Whose word's fraud?
Yours.
That's right.
So
I thought it was
I
Kenny
do.
the fraud slayer.
No,
he-
I know.
I'm
Kurt
kidding.
named him
I'm
that.
kidding.
I think.
Kenny,
I
give
think
you
you're right
complete
about
credit.
Gonzaga. I think the Kansas fight is going to push them more than they would have went. I think it's going to bring them together, I think they're there. Michigan State is an Elite 8 team to me. They're not a Final Four team.
Who?
Michigan State.
See, why? Because they got everybody back.
They have a point
Look,
guard.
great
seasoned
coach.
point guard.
Yes, but every
Right,
time.
point guard, which is big.
Yes, they have the best point guard in the country. But every time they're favored to do something, when they were a 1 seed, they always end up getting upset in the tournament.
I'm just laughing at Kenny's comment.
Right.
Thank you, Kenny.
Couple things.
I think Seton Hall has a shot
I
to
know.
make the top 8.
You know
I know.
what? If they have to rely on, oh my God, why is his name escaping? Powell. I don't know. I don't think they have enough of a supporting cast.
No.
That's the only thing. He's
talk,
good. And
But
he's a
talk
gamer,
about
but, yeah.
I mean, they never win big games.
Let me tell you, when the tournament's getting closer, and I'm going to look at a few things. I'm going to look at how many seniors are starters.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be the first thing.
Well, you said that the other day.
Mm-hmm.
There's no like true great freshmen this year, so
Right.
you want to take the more
Listen,
advanced team.
Experience.
You get a
Yeah.
team like Dayton who can hit the 3 like
Right.
nobody, or even to a point Iowa, if they get on a roll, or Butler, they can stay in any game, and they could upset the teams we think.
Of course, absolutely.
That's why.
Yeah.
But I think Gonzaga, I think Kansas, I think Louisville has a shot,
They do.
and I think it's going to be Duke in the end.
See, I like Dayton.
I
really
like
do.
Dayton, but if they don't hit that, like I think Dayton as a team, if they're in the Elite 8 or Sweet 16, first half they come out banging, and then they get cold, and
But I saw-
they get somebody
By the way,
stops.
that-
We
definitely happened.
watched them Christmas time against Kansas in one of those, and they went toe to toe with. They should have beat Kansas. Now you're talking about Kansas with a big inside guy.
Yeah,
They have a big inside guy. Couple things Lou said, which I'll leave it to you first, because you talk about Andy Reid can't win the big game. He's saying Mark Few cannot win the big game in Gonzaga. Agree or disagree?
I'm getting to the point where I'm agreeing, because but when you get to the underdog and dominant, which they were, now you're getting your recruiting the better players. There was one year in the last, I think 3 or 4, I thought this is their year, like you do this year, and they got beat.
I think last year was their year.
I thought it was the year
because
before.
last
I'm
year
thinking of
they
last
got
year.
upset by who beat them last year? Was it Michigan State or Texas Tech? One of those Michigan or Texas Tech beat them last year, and they were loaded last year.
Yeah, I
Loaded.
I'm thinking of what was the first year they were number 1 seed? That's the year I'm thinking of. It wasn't last year.
Mike Sullivan saying new show, Jen Sports Show. All right, next thing Lou said, and it was on our agenda. I had ranked the conferences. He's saying Big Ten best conference. Agree or disagree?
You know what's funny? I think the Big Ten epitomizes what the season is in basketball, because you have 5 teams that are ranked in the top 25. They don't have any top 10 teams right now, but they have 5 teams in the top 25. And honestly, I mean, Rutgers is one of them. I mean, it's like it's just crazy. You don't know what's going to happen. So I definitely think they're strong, but I still think like the Big 12.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm even going to say the ACC. You still have. I don't have any.
So you're still confident in Carolina?
Right. No. I don't have, even though FSU
Couple
and
big
Louisville are
wins, though.
top ranked right now. I just still think there's, I don't know, UVA beat Florida State the other day. I mean, I know, again, I'm not putting any credence in Florida State, but I would say more Big 12 would be mine.
That's mine, because you know what about the Big 12 is?
Even the Big East.
On the road, anybody can win. With a Big 12.
Well, is it anybody can win, or they never win?
Or nobody
Well,
can.
the Big Ten, nobody
The
wins.
The
on
Big
the
10,
road.
nobody
wins
wins.
on
But
the
the
road.
Big 12,
Yeah.
Baylor goes in, Iowa State. Especially when you're betting, even if it's close. I'm going to rephrase that. Covering is crazy in the Big 12. Big East too, but the only problem, Big East has 3 teams, 4
You know what,
teams.
though?
They don't
Even-
have 7 or 8 like the Big 12.
But even in the Big East, you have, and I know St. John's didn't play well last night, but
Did they show up?
But you know what, though?
Bad.
The first quarter,
But
first half.
watching them, they're such a different team this year. Like they play defense.
But
They run.
can't hit
They
nothing.
run. But they run an offense actually. And
Yeah,
like,
I can run offense too if I can't make a
But
shot.
they're bottom tier. They're bottom of the Big East. And honestly, I know they didn't play well last night, but they could go toe to toe with
By
any
the
of
way-
those teams.
By the way, if this was a year and
The
a
Big
half
East
or
has
2,
made a huge
a year and a half
resurgence.
ago, that game on a Sunday
Cost you how much?
cost me $3,300. Villanova was up
We were
by
there.
Yeah, you were there.
Yeah.
Villanova was up by 20. Then they got it to 10 at the half. And I had them with no points. I had a parlay. $3,300. They got it to 10 at the half. I'm at a bar. I go, I'm done. and it was still up by 10. I think St. John's beat it by 20.
They did. Came back, yeah.
And yesterday I'm going,
it's the opposite.
they're not coming back.
It was the opposite.
Yep.
It was the opposite.
Total opposite.
That was a fun game.
Another
Yeah,
thing
last
Lou
year.
said, and I totally agree with this one. Michigan State could have 10 losses and they still get to the final. They would still get to the Final Four. Michigan State, in my opinion, is the best team, and he's the best coach. Him and Krzyzewski are the best two coaches. But I mean,
he should have 3 more championships.
He had no business beating Duke last year.
He should have 3 more championships. Though.
None. I mean, just you agree with that or no?
I don't see. Last year, I feel like as talented as Duke was, just like we were talking about, it's so hard to take a class of Zion, Cam Reddish, and R.J. Barrett, who are inexperienced in that type of atmosphere, and expect that's a huge feat for those kids. And again, like Michigan State is his point guard. The Perkins a senior this year, correct? So he was a junior last year, so he still had experience. I mean, there's just I don't know that they had no right. You put him on paper. Is Duke the better team last year? Of course, but
now
all these other factors.
Lou's also saying, and this is where it matters with the brackets, because he's saying his brother's the biggest Michigan State fan. He wants to be the 3 seed, go out west because they'll beat Gonzaga and San Diego State.
Right.
You can't take those 2 teams over Michigan State. I mean, could you?
I don't know yet.
But I'm saying if you were the 3 seed in that bracket, you got to pick Michigan State. You got to. How can you? I mean, how can you not? Lou's saying Duke is so much better defensively this year. You always said that. You said those 3 guys last year, even they had Reddish, Zion, and Barrett.
So he's been
weren't
6 Final Fours and has 1 win.
Who?
Izzo.
Izzo only has 1 title?
1.
No, he's got more than 1 title.
This year, Coach K has to.
No, see?
I thought he's got 2.
That's not what this is saying.
How many Final Fours is Izzo?
Izzo only has 1.
Izzo has 1.
Yeah, Izzo has 1.
How many
6.
Final Fours?
6.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but that's
what's funny? You know what's funny though? Last year we could have had this conversation and we could have said that Tony Bennett had 8 Final Fours and Kurt would be saying,
but he didn't. No, he didn't.
No, you're not listening to the point. The point is when the argument is convenient for you, it's only national championships. Now because you want Izzo to be considered, now it's Final Four. Exactly.
And you know what? Tony Bennett sings a lot better than Tom Izzo.
I don't know. Have you ever seen Tom Izzo sing?
No, still.
But the Coach K playing defense this year is one of the comments was he has to this year. Last year he could get away because he had offensive power.
He doesn't have that. He doesn't have that talent.
But I give him credit for that because he knows what he has.
So he was preseason number 2. He was at number 1, and in the final he was 5. He only made the tournament. Didn't make even the Final Four. You know how many times? 2-1-11. 2-2, no tournament. 2-2-13.
But what are you trying to say about him?
That he's not the championship coach. That
no, I think he's a fantastic coach.
I didn't say fantastic coach.
I think he has the NCAA resume as well.
Who is Krzyzewski?
Okay. You better not. There's no other name you can say.
But these are also guys that have been coaching 30+ years.
Well, he's been coaching since 96.
Okay, what talent does he have though? What pros does he have? Who does he have?
I don't care about pros. We're talking about college. You don't care. I don't care if everybody in the NBA All-Star team playing at Michigan State. Unless you win a championship, you're a college coach.
Who does more, Izzo or Calipari?
Izzo says himself that he wants to get
more championships.
That he wants to get that second championship to cement
Two.
himself.
1. Calipari has 1.
You're taking the Memphis one away?
He didn't win Memphis. They lost. He didn't win. He lost. Kansas beat them. He got to the final.
Wait a minute. Whoa.
He has 1.
Didn't they take Memphis' championship away?
Did he win at UMass?
No. He got to the Final Four, and he got to the final. And they were winning. They lost to Kansas. Derrick Rose missed free throws. He brought Memphis to the national title game.
But Izzo says himself that he wants that second national. He feels like he needs
of
that
course,
to cement
Lou
himself.
just said it. Izzo needs another title bad, which I understand. But I'm saying you cannot compare.
But the funny thing is you would also be saying about some other – and I understand you like Izzo, but you use the argument if it was another coach, you would be calling for their firing. How can you keep getting there and not win the big one? How can you keep getting there and not win the big one? I don't agree with that, but But one is enough. Well, if you keep getting there, you say it yourself. The goal ultimately is to win the national championship.
Right.
You just can't change your argument.
But
That's
who
all
has?
I'm
But I'm
saying.
saying who really has? You have Krzyzewski, you got Jay Wright, you got. I mean, who else that's out there that has more than one?
I'm not saying. I'm saying that your argument is always to fire the person immediately if they
I will
don't get
say
to
this.
that next level.
I've sat on the air. I changed the 3 best coaches
Change
in
your
college
mind.
basketball, hands down. Krzyzewski, Izzo, Jay Wright. Those 3 are on a whole nother level than anybody else. You can argue they're better than Roy Williams. Now, I'm not saying Calipari, the recruiter, but Calipari, the coach, is nowhere near those 3 guys. Jay Wright wins a title, loses everybody,
You know what?
wins a Big East.
I'm going to say
lose
this.
a title. That's the difference. We said this last week.
I'm going to say, though, that I agree 100% with what you're saying about that. But what also separates Krzyzewski, Izzo, and Wright, and maybe some others that do this portion well, is their game management, how they coach their kids, the fundamentals. Like, you watch them, you know they're good, they're well-coached teams. I mean, we watched Florida State the other night mismanage the clock with 24 seconds left and basically lose the game because their coach – and the kids didn't know what to do.
But what did I say?
You know?
I would never trust Leonard Hamilton in a big spot.
Right, exactly.
Never.
I'm just, here they are ranked 5 in the country.
Florida
And that's
State?
when it comes to tournament time, you want those the coaches were saying of those the Michigan States. I'll even say Calipari. I'm not saying he's the coach that those other guys are, but you know what? He coaches his kids.
He does.
He was the first, one and done guy, and he would get those kids to gel and play together.
But see, hold on, I'm going to defend myself here. I never said here that once you start winning, you're going to get. See, Izzo, I would never say has to go.
Well, of course not. You like him.
But I'm saying you have to win that title. See, we can sit here all you want. Sickinger called up and Sickinger said the best thing ever is I didn't want Bob Sutton as my defensive coordinator. We argued about it last week. You have that window. You have Mahomes. You have all the talent around them. You cannot have a defense that's going to give up 40 points a game. Fire them. Get Spagnuolo in. You're in the Super Bowl. You're favorites to win the Super Bowl. And you know what? If that defense shuts them down, they won the Super Bowl. Not even because of Mahomes. It was because of that deal of getting Steve Spagnuolo. It's windows. That's all it is. It's all about windows. We sit here and say, oh, by the way, Lewis saying nobody wins with less talent than Izzo. He has guys 3-star guys. If he had the recruits Calipari had, absolutely.
That's not the argument. Championships, I don't care if they're not talented. First of all, let's get this this fakeness or fraudness out. If you're going to Michigan State on a scholarship, you're telling me they're not talented? You're telling me he's going out and going, I want that guy. He's not that good, but I'll take him? Bull crap.
Well, okay, well, let me
They're just –
come out. No. I'm going to answer you right back. I'm going to answer you right back.
Oh, my God.
Okay. Go ahead.
You think they're going to gyms at downtown Garfield saying, hey, he looks good? No. They're recruiting the player for his system, but he's still a top player in the state. Okay? Just because he's not a name on somebody's list of ESPN.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. First pick in the NBA draft, Zion Williamson, Duke. Third pick in the draft, R.J. Barrett, Duke.
So?
7th pick in the draft, Cam Reddish, Duke. How does Izzo beat him? Izzo has nobody from that team in the NBA. Well, how did he beat him?
First of all, you are one of the weirdest people on sports I've ever met. You do this with the Nets.
But
you're a coach.
But explain that.
1 year at one school, I don't care how good you are, you think you could gel and just because you're a name win a championship?
There are so many factors.
That's ridiculous.
There are so many.
You do the same thing with this Irving to the Nets. They just get him. They were an 8 seed. They should be
Lou's
4
saying,
seed.
no way, Briggsy, you're dead wrong.
No.
There's so many factors.
You're talking about your name guy.
There's first of all, like Briggs is saying, recruiting kids. First of all, the kids who go to Kentucky are going to be more of those run and gun type kids, and Calipari is going to, again, Izzo recruits again, players who can play that style as well. I'm not saying that I'm sure they're recruiting the same kids. I'm sure that whoever ends up at both those schools were probably recruited by both Michigan State and Kentucky. Why they're choosing one over the other, that I don't know. But it's a whole formula of things. It's that coach then getting that team to gel. It's those kids getting along. You don't know what the chemistry is going to be when you bring in those recruits. You don't know in your bracket where you're going to fall. You don't know what upsets are going to happen. It's a whole litany of things that need to fall into place. There's a little bit of luck, it's not just I have the best recruits, so if somebody else had that team that they would win. That I disagree with. There is a recipe that has to happen and certain things that have to fall into place.
Listen, Virginia, he recruited his players. They won. They won a national championship. If you would have said at the beginning of the season, they're not Zion, they're not this, they're not that, that's a ridiculous way of looking at sports.
We were just talking earlier today about last year's ACC and how we were like, who did Duke lose to last year? And then we brought up UNC, how they lost to UNC, but that Virginia beat UNC, but Virginia could not beat Duke last year. So I mean, that's another factor.
But it's matchups. It's where they play, and it's who they played the last game. How they,
I don't think Michigan State Duke was a matchup issue.
No.
You're saying how did they beat them? It's just what? There are also times where one team doesn't play well. There's shots. I mean, there's so many factors, especially come tournament time. Because if you don't have a good game, you're done.
But when it comes tournament time, it's coaching. You're gonna fill out a bracket, and I can guarantee you, in that Elite Eight and Final Four, you're going to circle Michigan State. I know you are, and I know I am. But you're doing it not on their team. You're doing it because of Tom Izzo.
I absolutely cross them out because
I'm
of Tom
doing
Izzo.
it on both.
I cross them out.
Don't tell me what I'm doing it on. I'm doing it on both.
I cross them out.
In their coach, and I do think that they have
when I get to four,
a good team.
Louis saying he agrees with you 1,000%. Matchups win the tournament.
When I get to 8 and 4, Michigan State is a team I don't put in because they're a high seed all the time, and I don't care coaching. They're not as hungry sometimes as the seed that made it there and wants the upset. I think he gets comfortable there because he's used to it. But
I don't think he gets comfortable anywhere.
No, I don't mean
he's the most fired up.
No, but I don't mean comfortable. We're done, we're good. I think that the fire. There's two different kinds of fires. Fired up to yell at your team. Then there's a fired up. The kids are fired up because we're somewhere we never been. Some teams get to that point and go, "We're expected to be here," and they're not as fired up. I don't never put them in my Final Four. I just don't.
See, Kenny's making a good point. Izzo's
Kirk's the best?
No, Izzo either goes to the Final Four or he's out in the second round. You know what?
But it's not the nature of the tournament for anybody. Duke exited early. That's happened.
Absolutely.
It happens. It's the nature of the tournament. That's why they allow the mid-majors in. Those kids, that similar to kind of what you're saying, Briggs. Those kids, that's where that underdog has that advantage. They have nothing to lose.
The Loyola Marymount years ago. The
UMBCs who beat Virginia, 2 years ago.
2 years ago,
it's
16.
Just,
George Mason.
Yeah. But then you're going to get the Shaka Smart team that he gets them ready if they're in.
And there's good coaches in the mid-majors who aren't getting the, notoriety that the big-time teams are. There's lots of good coaches, but those kids, again, they're coming off successful seasons in those mid-majors. Yeah. You're coming off an undefeated, or 1, 2, 3 losses. That confidence that builds all season long, you enter that tournament believing you can win.
I will make this one statement. I want to know if Lou's a Duke fan. Okay? You follow the tournament. Here's my question. I want Lou to answer this. True or false? Because I'm going to agree. I'm going to say this is 100% true. There was only one team that could have knocked Duke out of that tournament last year.
And it was Michigan State.
And it was Michigan State. The only team that Krzyzewski did not want to play was Michigan State. He didn't care about Virginia. He didn't care about Auburn. He didn't care about Texas Tech. They would have beat all those teams. But Izzo, because it's Izzo, his game plan, his work ethic, That's the only team they didn't want to play and the only team that would have beat Duke last year.
I mean,
Agree or disagree?
I'm not going to make some absolute statement like that. I have no idea if there could have been another team to beat Duke. I think another team could have beaten Duke. Absolutely. There could have been a team who was a 15. I don't remember what Duke's seed was. Were they a 2? There could have been a 15
Lou
seed.
said that's 1,000% right.
Yeah, well, of course you're
But they're the only ones.
Of course, when somebody agrees with you, you're
But because
it's how could you make that ridiculous statement? How do we know who could have beaten them on any given day?
Right.
Somebody could have beaten them. You know, Zion blows out another sneaker.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
it didn't matter.
I mean,
It
please,
just
that's just a ridiculous
It does
statement.
matter.
I mean, the tournament is. I mean, how could you say that? There's just anything could happen.
it's kind of like when you're playing, like you look at coaches and coaches, quarterback, home field, but you look and you go and you say, who don't I want to face? Like regardless of how the team is, regardless of if the
If you're the coach, I don't want to face.
No, but I'm trying to think about it. Like I'm trying to think of like a team. Like I don't want to go face that team. That team is well coached. I don't even care if they have a backup court. Like, would you really want to go play Belichick? Like when he had, Jacoby Brissett quarterbacking? I wouldn't because he's going to coach him up. He's going to come up with a plan. And you want no part of it. You don't care who their quarterback is because he'll work his plan away from it. He'll work his plan away from it to do what he has to do to win. And
let's get back to Duke last year. UNC beat them. You think Roy Williams was out coaching Coach K?
No.
Yeah.
But they played 2 games without Zion.
Was both games with him?
Yeah, he blew his knee.
I know he blew his
sneaker out early,
no
and then he didn't play the extra game.
We got 15 minutes. Get in with your agenda.
Well,
because
Kenny's going to call in
we got
from
15
Maryland.
minutes. Let him call.
Kenny's calling in.
All right, I'm going to head out.
You're heading out.
Yep. Mr. Briggs, it was a pleasure.
Very
Yes,
nice. Very nice. So right now, last question. Your team, right now, you have to pick. You're filling out a bracket. Your national champ is?
Gonzaga or Michigan State?
Your national champ is?
Ooh, right now.
Right now. Duke. Thank you, Jenny Hoops.
Thank you. Good night, guys.
Kenny's going to be calling in. Kenny's riding with San Diego State. Yes, it's a weak conference, but you like Gonzaga, you have to like San Diego State. Okay. Lou's saying he never wants to play Michigan State, ever.
That's fine.
How do you not agree with that?
I'm not a believer in Michigan State consistently to win championships. I think they go so far. That's it.
Anything else? Look, let me ask you one thing. We didn't talk about this last week.
Okay.
The baseball deal with the cheating.
I think they should take the title away.
But does that do anything?
Yeah, I think the only thing that it can insult the players.
Let me ask something. If they took away that Broncos Super Bowl, I'm not taking that down.
Here's the thing. I know that, but as a the coach gets fired, right?
Lou's picking Louisville, by the way.
The coach
If he
gets
ends up
fired.
bracket.
The other coach gets fired. The other one steps down. That they moved around, whatever. 3 of them, and the GM 4. I think that
Hello, Mr. Kenny.
players need to be held accountable.
Hello,
for what
Mr.
they do.
Valenti, Mr. Briggs.
Hello, Mr. Geese.
Let me finish.
Hold on. Wait. Kenny, hold on. We got a statement. Yes, Lou, we do know. We started our show with a little Kobe
We did.
tribute. We didn't want to get into, that much.
We got Super Bowl. We got Kyle.
But we did mention it.
We did.
We did say what a tragedy and all that stuff.
Speaking of Kobe, a real
And not just
story.
Kobe. All the families involved. Everybody involved.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely.
Somebody made a bad decision.
I remember a Kobe story where I was a double or nothing bet. I was having a bad week in sports gambling, and I was with our good friend Roger. It was a Sunday night game, and we took the Lakers. They were like a 12-point favorite. We had a parlay, money line parlay. They were a 12-point favorite against a real bad team on Sunday, and they were down by almost 20 points in the fourth quarter. And Kobe took over that game, and they ended up winning by 3 at the end of that fourth quarter.
Come on.
It was all Kobe Bryant in the fourth quarter. It was insane. And I'll never forget that with Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great play. What?
Then you lost it the next day.
Hey, Second best. We can get back. Second best player I've ever seen. Jordan 1, Kobe 2.
Okay.
Yeah, arguably you throw LeBron in there, but Kobe, Jordan number 1, Kobe, absolutely.
Yeah.
81 points, come on.
60 in the Garden or 61 in the Garden.
The highest points in the Garden.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
you can't. Listen, it's all good. I couldn't say LeBron, Kobe, either one.
yeah. But he was the closest thing to Jordan, like
Because
the
of his
mentality and the
aggressiveness.
aggressiveness,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
But it's just like we said, it's just a shame. It's sad. Like it's still on the news. And like the whole thing, like all the stuff that he, like how many players he touched. You know what I mean, Kenny? Like that's the thing. Like all these players are.
All those tributes. Tributes to him.
Yeah.
It says a lot.
It says a lot about him. It's like, and it's half the stuff we don't even know as fans. Like we see him as, a guy scoring 30 points a game and stuff, but all the other stuff he does as a father and, like coaching the door, like that's, it's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad. So Jenny Hoops was here, did some hoops. Kenny, how you ready for the Super Bowl?
What's that? I missed that.
Are you ready for the Super Bowl?
I am ready for the Super Bowl. I am thinking, my opinion on the Super Bowl, the 49ers are not going to run the ball. They're going to stop the run. I think Mostert is going to be, he had his prime, he gelled last week. But that being said, I agree with Briggs. If the 49ers win, Kittle's your MVP.
That's a good prop.
I said last week, Breda, but Breda's like a sleeper, if you want to throw $5 on a real long shot, Matt Breda. But Kittle's the guy, I think, that's got, if the 49ers are going to win, it's going to be George Kittle.
But that's a good prop. He can't be up there in the odds. Who? Kittle? I mean, he's got
I think he is.
Yeah?
He definitely is, yeah.
I'll tell you right now.
Mahomes is the even money favorite. Then you got Garoppolo. Then it's Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
They're all above Kittle.
Bless you.
Thank you. Is Kittle the second 49er now?
Mostert's higher than Kittle.
Right. Mostert's got to be higher than Kittle.
Yeah, Kittle's like number 6.
That's my point. He's got to be at least the third or fourth guy from San Fran.
Yeah. And I think if you want to go out and go against Mahomes, maybe Kelsey or Tyreek Hill, but if that's the case, but it's going to be Mahomes throwing touchdowns to them, they're going to give it to Mahomes.
Kenny, let's bring this up because before you called, I was just asking Briggs and he was getting into it. This whole baseball scandal thing with the cheating. What's your thoughts on it? Are you just happy if those 3 managers got fired and they do nothing to the players?
They can't do anything to the players.
Larry's saying what's going on.
What's that?
Larry Graham is saying what's going on.
To the players,
I know.
but you got to do something, and we did something with the managers, which is great.
Well, why can't you do something? Why can't you do something with the players?
Because the Players Association.
World Series, run his mouth when he knows they cheated the year before.
Players Association.
But wait, but I'm saying you get cheated when you're on steroids.
Yeah, but their union is so strong. You can't give blame to the workers when management is the one that's letting it happen. That doesn't happen anywhere. You have to management. That's the first to go. Then the union gets involved, and you can't do it. It's in everywhere.
But see here. This is why I think, like, I don't know how true it was, but they had there was an article today that I read that it said Garrett Cole came out and said, "Oh, I never saw any cheating." Like, that's where these players are going to get in trouble.
Kittle was 6,
Like,
18-1.
18. That's a good odds.
That's 6.
That's good odds. So why would he make a statement like that?
What's that?
Like, Cole came out yesterday or supposedly or something in some interview and said, "Oh, no, I never saw. We never cheated." Like, that's where, I mean, did he never ask why is anybody hitting garbage cans? Like,
yeah.
He didn't know what's going
what?
on.
I'm not saying he did.
But he said he did it.
Can I?
I didn't say that.
My point is, you have a 40-man roster. Not every 40 knew. I'm telling you, you're a pitcher. How many times are you really even on the bench? You know, he might not have known because he didn't need to use it. It wasn't like when he got the bat, they're banging garbage cans. They know it's an out. So it's not, I understand because you're on the team, you would, but it isn't crazy to think he knew.
So my point is, if Garrett Cole didn't know, how did the GM know? The GM's not with the players.
See, this is where you don't do your research
Well,
or
go ahead.
you have an
The
opinion.
GM is involved in it. The GM's going to know what's
The
going on.
GM, Steve Phillips was on ESPN Radio. The GM has to approve that equipment to be bought. It goes through his desk. He has to sign off on it. They broke a screen that
But Hinch broke the screen.
on purpose.
Right.
He has GM has to sign off on
Hinch
another
knew,
one.
Hinch knew.
Hinch knew. He
Right.
broke the screen. Cora, whoever got another one, GM signs off on it. You don't think he's not asking why are we buying this equipment?
Okay, all right, I agree. Lou's saying nobody's stupider than Verlander. No way they'll all know. They all knew. Larry's saying they all knew it would have been coming out sooner. See, this is the thing, though. What? See, I, and Kenny, I don't know if you mentioned this, Kenny. I want your opinion on this. You just said, well, what can you do to player? So basically, somebody like Cora and Beltran, well, I can't manage anymore.
No.
But somebody like Altuve is just going to play with
No.
no punishment?
No. This is where you don't pay attention.
Go ahead.
They resigned. Cora was a coach. Stop. Listen. Cora was a coach. Then he got caught doing it in Boston.
He didn't get caught.
Not yet. They're still
But
investigating.
he didn't get caught.
They're still
Okay,
investigating.
well, what Beltran do? He never had a manager job.
That's my point. The Mets said to him, either, you don't know the conversations. If they asked him about it in the interview, because it was out there,
Okay?
and he lied, they didn't fire him. He had to
They didn't
resign.
fire him.
But they didn't fire him, but they basically said, listen,
Because they
you're
called
going to
him.
resign.
They could have said you're a liar. We don't want to embarrass you. We're not going to fire
Is
you.
Altuve lying?
Doesn't matter.
Well, why?
Because the
Okay, so
union-
listen,
He's
so
a
wait,
union rep.
so wait,
Kurt.
guys, let me ask you this. Could Beltran tomorrow come back and say, I want to play for the Oakland A's?
Yes.
So he could play, he can't manage.
Because he's back in the union. It's a union job. The union is the strongest union in the country.
So they could, but then why do they get called? Then why would they get steroids? Union don't back those guys.
Who got suspended? It's because it's in the collective bargaining.
They all get
This
suspended
is
for
not
baseball.
because it's in the collective bargaining.
Bottom line, they're
You
not
just
gonna
don't
punish
get
the
it.
players. If you punish the players, then you can go all the way back into the steroid scandal again. Well, how
Yes,
can you
but-
punish anybody for the
No.
steroids?
But they did punish him for the
No.
steroids.
Not
They do
until
now.
they negotiated the punishment into the collective bargaining. Then they get caught, they get suspended. What they did was, if you remember, they took tests and didn't let out the names to see how it was. None of those guys got suspended. They collective bargained it. Now, the collective bargaining was up next year. I guarantee MLB is going to want to put something in the clauses. If that happens again, they could get the players.
Okay, so here's where you make no sense then. You just told me take the title away. The title comes away, but the guy still played
No.
and cheated?
But here's the
For
thing.
what?
Here's
You're
why.
saying they beat it.
No.
So the Astros, you know what, Astros?
You're not
Congratulations, you're
taking-
smarter than the rest of
You're
the
not
other teams.
taking the titles away from players. You're taking it from the organization.
Well, why?
Because you know what? A player could go, I'm a World Series championship. You gotta remember, it's all petty. I'm not saying it's big. But if a player who goes, I'm a world champion in the Astros 2019, at least somebody could say, no, you're a cheater.
A cheater that's still
They
playing.
took the time. Still playing means nothing. That's collective bargaining. They can't do anything about that.
Okay, guys.
MLB could take away any title they want. They could have taken away. Look, when they had the strike, when Montreal was the favorite to win, right? You look back, it says no championship, and people go, "What the hell happened?"
didn't play a season.
Right, but that's what you want 50 years from now. Going, no championship in 2019. Why? Cheaters. Then at least people are held accountable that you couldn't punish.
Kenny, I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay, because I heard somebody's on their way. They'll be here in a minute. The fraud slayers.
Oh, the fraud slayer showing up. All right, so
All right, we only got 3 minutes.
let me ask you this, Kenny. Did Tom Brady get suspended?
Yes.
Okay. Did that prove that Tom Brady's guilty? He cheated, right? He cheated.
It proved that there was some cheating.
Okay, so he cheated. He did his time. He missed his 4 games, whatever it was. He cheated. Altuve cheated. Nothing's going to happen to him?
Because it's
crazy.
a different
How do
union.
you say Altuve cheated? The equipment was in the room. Did Altuve
Listen to me.
put the equipment in
No,
there to
Cora put it in. Cora and Beltran was the only player named in the report.
Yes. Right.
Beltran, one player named once. Manager named,
Yes.
GM named, Cora named. No other player was named in the report. It's not, Kurt, you're not getting it. It's
But
not.
wait, so Beltran, I don't care if Beltran screwed the cameras in.
Right. You know,
What was he banging the thing to? Himself? Nobody else was in on it?
you're not getting
But wait,
it.
were they in on it?
It's not it's how they got to that point is the crime. Putting the cameras in is the crime. That's the crime, Kurt.
Okay, so what if I bought you steroids? Am I in trouble or you in trouble?
You.
And you took them.
It depends on how the law says.
Okay,
You're
so-
in trouble for distribution.
Okay.
Okay.
But I got them for you.
You're in
And-
trouble.
Okay, but you're not. You all of a sudden you went from batting .210 and
You're
6 home runs to .325 and
If I don't
82.
fail a test, but they find steroids at your house, you're in trouble. Dude, I thought you meant on the street, not on games.
Look at baseball.
No, there's a rule now about failing tests. They had to negotiate that in. Don't you?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Okay.
All right, Kenny, give me your
On
fraud
a similar topic, but different topic. The fraud slayers here.
Okay.
And my fraud of the week is Roger Goodell.
Oh boy. Kenny,
Okay.
hey, but Kenny, bring.
Two short reasons.
Kurt Valenti?
The fraud slayer did speak, and nobody's going to be chilling up the fraud slayer. And then when I finish, you girls can chime in. 2 reasons. You can't suspend someone indefinitely, Miles Garrett, and agree to sit with him in the next 2 months on joining for reinstatement. When he was suspended indefinitely for assault with a deadly weapon, in my opinion.
But that's not what he was suspended
someone
for.
hit.
Your opinion doesn't matter. It's the facts.
Second reason, he's trying to get Antonio Brown on the right track. No, if you're arguably trying to get 2 of the top 10 players back in the NFL at any cost, okay? If there was a special teams player or a
They'd be
practice
gone.
player, you would not be hearing any of this news, okay? He needs to make an example of these 2 guys and never allow them back in the NFL. Not sit with them and, oh, yeah, we'll just strap you on the back. And you know what, kids?
I agree.
It's
That's
okay
wrong. Wrong.
It's okay to attack people on the field. It's
Nope.
okay to rob. It's okay to do all these things. And that's what's going to happen.
That's
So
what. That's
he's my fraud of the week. Hands down. That's it.
Wait, Briggs is saying wrong. I want to hear
Absolutely
Briggs.
wrong.
I want to hear Briggs'
Absolutely
take on
wrong.
this.
First of all, we live in a country that forgives. Okay, Miles Garrett lost $5 million. Okay,
Okay?
he deserves to be listened to. I'm not saying he deserves to be back in
And
the
what's
league.
going to happen when they play the Steelers?
Well, listen, wait a minute. It didn't happen for how many years he's in the league? It happened once. Really? If it happened like, what's his name, from the Bengals and the Raiders, and it was a consistent thing,
Oh,
folk,
the linebacker.
right, then I agree with you. But one thing happened. The guy had, who knows what happened? Who knows what was said? I don't believe that something wasn't said or he thought he heard something. You got to listen to the guy. The other one, Antonio
I
Brown.
disagree about Antonio Brown.
The Antonio Brown thing, who knows if he wants to get him back in the league or just back normal. Maybe they reach out to their, maybe they, well, you talk, now I talk. Maybe
Briggs
they,
is fired up
maybe they
now.
reach out to their
Wait.
players.
Okay, go ahead.
Maybe they reach out to the players that they think they need mental help with and get him help. He's not getting him to go back in the league. You know what? something's wrong with Antonio Brown. Somebody needs to reach out to him and help the guy.
You want to bring these guys back in the league?
You know, talking to somebody and bringing them back in the league are two different things.
I'm talking about if Goodell wants to make a point of these guys and make a statement, you allow them back in the league, but they can't make more than league minimum. The rest
No, they can make no.
The rest goes to a
No,
charity.
for what? What?
Minimum.
Tell me, what did Antonio Brown be convicted of for that to happen? What? He didn't. He has no criminal charges yet. He has nothing. He's a mental case, absolutely. But
I agree with him on Myles Garrett, though.
what was he?
Well, come on, let me ask you something. Well, hold on, wait, Kenny.
How much a year? How much is Myles Garrett making? I don't know. I don't have.
He lost $5 million for this suspension for 16 games.
No, I'm saying, what is his contract?
I don't know.
I don't know, but
You want to make you want to come back in the NFL? This is how it's going to be. You know what? You show me that you can do it, and then you'll get a raise.
no,
Until then,
that's not how America works.
Well, let me ask you something. Hold on,
Let me
Briggs.
finish my point.
Okay.
You live in a
No.
one-bedroom
No.
apartment building like
That-
everybody else.
No, he has a
With
talent.
paycheck to paycheck.
What if, you know what, that's bullcrap. Because if you work in a supermarket, if you work down the street, if you go and get in trouble and go see a psychiatrist week after week after week, and they say, you know what, now he's cured, he can go back to the same job making the same amount of money.
Okay, but let me ask you this.
Which
Because
is
this,
millions.
So what?
well,
That's
no,
not equal
Kenny.
to what he does and what the revenue that they make. It is relevant.
Wait. I'm going to put Kenny on the spot.
Mason Rudolph with that helmet in the right spot, the guy would have been.
Then guess what? This isn't. We don't live in ifs or buts. If you made a wrong turn and stopped and didn't stop enough time to let the lady walk across the street, you could be in jail. We don't live like that.
If you go and swing at one of your coworkers,
Right. That's my point, Kenny. Let me ask you something. If Kenny walked into the hospital and he took, if he rode a motorcycle and a motorcycle helmet and he went to hit somebody, he ain't gonna have a job. There's no way. He's gonna be in jail.
If he's
No. That's
If-
aggravated assault.
If you're working to better yourself and it was an incident, listen, their job isn't to walk around and say hello to people. It's a physical, violent job, right? So stuff happens. Crap happens on the field. You can't go by ifs. He didn't hurt him, right? He didn't get nothing. He's coming off a concussion, still going to get another concussion. So you know what? You got to evaluate and help the guy who might be mentally unstable. But you want to bring up Antonio Brown. The guy's a nut. But he's not back in the league. There's nobody looking for him. His agent let him go. Don't just think because somebody wants to talk to him, he's a fraud.
No. But I got one thing. I'm going to put you on the spot again. You're going to be on the spot. All right, I'm going to put him on the spot because, again, I have nothing against Goodell, but I'm going to say where I would say Goodell's a fraud. Okay?
Don't change the subject.
No. Hold on. Okay. Couple years ago, Ray Rice hit his girlfriend in the hotel, right?
Yeah.
Remember that? In the elevator.
Yeah.
And they said, now, Ray Rice at 30 at the downside of his career. Oh, we're going to set an example with Ray Rice. The problem is Ray Rice is on the decline in the 30s. Joe Mixon did it. Joe Mixon's in the league. Why? Because he's a top 10 running back in football. What's the difference?
He hit a woman half his size in the face in an elevator on video.
You
What did
Joe Mixon do? Joe Mixon did. They have video of him in the lunchroom.
You're out of your
But
mind.
why is he in the league?
Because a 30-year-old guy as opposed to an 18-year-old kid is
Yeah.
a big difference.
No, because he's a better player than
No,
Joe Mixon.
no.
It's illegal.
You guys are nuts.
Oh, really?
You're one and out. You want everybody out. But you know what? I'm going to do my research next week. I'm going to get players that you root for that shouldn't be in the league.
Hold on. So let me ask
I
you.
don't even like these players. But you got to give people second chances in life. That's what this world's about. We live in America. We
You
don't.
know what? Yes, give him a second chance. But I'm saying.
But you're calling somebody a fraud for wanting to talk to people? Are you out of your mind?
Make an example. if he's assaulting people, okay, then that money goes to a charity.
But
And
they,
he
no.
wants $100,000
If you earn your, listen,
and see how he can do
bull
it.
crap.
If he wants to be in the NFL.
You know what? If you
after that.
Ken, if you assaulted somebody, and your job said, well, you make $50,000, you got to give 20 to charity. You're gonna tell him go screw yourself.
But I don't even think he's going to have a chance to make that money. They're going to fire him. He's not even going to have the job.
But that's my point. Is this? If what they should do is say, what happened? Could you go get help? That's what we should do.
Okay, but you're saying there's no like there's you're just gonna let it go?
What you earn shouldn't have to go anywhere. Nobody should tell you where your money could go. They should suggest where your money could go, but to make that a stipulation to be back in the league, no.
Here's my take.
Go ahead.
Okay, you go to work and you get in trouble at work for getting into a fight with somebody.
Right.
Are you gonna sit with your manager, your supervisor, your boss, and they're gonna say, okay, we're just gonna slap you on the wrist, Kurt, because you know you've been with us for 5 years.
No,
I've seen it done.
Years.
I've done
We're
it.
just gonna slap you on the wrist, and we're gonna give you a raise. We're gonna give
No,
you
then nobody's giving you a raise. You
That's
earn what
what's
you
gonna happen.
earn.
Myles Garrett's gonna get more money than he ever made when his contract's up. He's gonna get a raise when his contract is up.
So the guy had one time something went very wrong.
Yeah, but it's a privilege to play in that league.
Right. So guess
And you
what?
blew it. He blew it.
You don't know. You
But he
get second.
blew it.
Everybody gets second chances. Whether look at baseball. You do somebody all these
Gets
drugs.
a second chance. You got to look back at his history. Maybe he has a history where he did this.
Well, look, you said maybe. You made a statement that you're calling
So
a guy
why
a
didn't Ray
fraud
Rice get a second chance?
because he punched a woman in the face,
It had nothing.
knocked her
It
out.
had nothing to do with being 30 years old.
Well,
Oh,
no,
wait, hold on. Didn't Tyreek Hill do the same
Whoa,
thing?
whoa.
Wait. Didn't Tyreek Hill do the same thing?
Not the same.
Tyreek Hill, there was video,
I saw the
audio of the girl
He
saying,
got suspended.
Daddy hit me.
By
No,
the
he never
way,
got suspended.
8 games
Daddy
he got
hit
suspended.
me. Daddy hit me.
8
Tyreek
games.
Hill?
Not Tyreek Hill.
Oh,
Excuse me.
right.
I'm
Tyreek
talking
Hill.
about,
But it's
Hunt.
because it's Tyreek Hill. If the Chiefs cut Tyreek
They
Hill,
didn't see-
31 other teams would be like,
Here's the
take me,
difference.
take me.
Ray
That
Rice.
would be the problem.
Hold on.
But it's
Ray
'cause
Rice
it's
got
Tyreek Hill.
Ray Rice got suspended,
He
right?
never played the game
Because nobody
wanted him. He was
Right.
washed up.
But you're saying,
But he was
but
washed
the
up.
argument is they won't let him play. They let him have a chance. Nobody wanted him.
Well,
Big difference.
the league
Kurt.
said that.
No.
The league is saying we're not. The league's saying we stopped him from playing.
No.
But nobody wanted him. But
Nobody wanted
when
him.
it happened to Tyreek Hill, people were saying, if the Chiefs cut him today,
By the
I'm
way-
signing him
by the way,
tomorrow.
Kareem
He's
Hunt got
right.
suspended for 8 games.
He's
There
back.
wasn't enough evidence to get Tyreek Hill suspended. So your argument is mute. If they did, they would have suspended him.
Bottom line, the only players that are never going to be allowed in the NFL are the Aaron Hernandez type. And that's a problem.
That's
I'm
not
sorry,
true.
Because you need to make examples of people that are going to act like this. I'm sorry.
It's not true. That's not the
You
case.
can't say suspended indefinitely and then you're reinstated a year later.
No, you don't know. What is your definition indefinitely? Indefinitely doesn't mean forever. It means until they reevaluate. If you listen to any talk show when it happened, they all said 16 games. They're going to talk after that. So indefinitely, it definitely isn't. You know what indefinitely is to you? When you're dead, you're indefinitely dead. That's not how it works in a real world.
But I just don't think
Indefinitely.
But I think I agree with Kenny where one thing, like, I don't know how you can do it, but you can't just be like, okay, it's over. You're where you were a year ago. You're on.
He lost $5 million.
But he lost the $5 million.
Right.
The NFL didn't take it from him. He lost it from his actions.
Right.
But
So
it's his fault,
that's
not the NFL's fault.
yes, but that's not punishment enough for you.
No, because
You lose a year of your
like
career.
Kenny's saying, your next deal, you'll make the $5 million back.
No, you won't. You don't make. No, you do not make your $5 million back.
He'll make that back.
No. The contract structure in football doesn't allow you to make more money. It makes you make the same money you would have made, but you don't make the money back you lost.
Okay, but let me ask something.
No.
So if I was going to give you a 4-year, $40 million deal, right?
Yeah.
Why? You know what, Briggs? You had a great year. I'm going to give you a 4-year, $45 million deal. Did you make your $5 million back?
No.
You did it?
If your stats match up to the guy on another team that had those stats that's making that money, you earned that money. You didn't get it back. You were supposed to get it.
But I just gave you 5 more.
Because if you had 20 sacks and I had 20 sacks, right?
Right.
And you're making $45 million,
Right.
and I become a free agent, and I make $45 million. I'm not going to make $50 million. I'm going to make what I've earned. They're not going to give him $5 more million when your stats are the same as the guy on another team.
But money could be so that's like when they said to Peyton
But that's
Manning.
you're changing the
So
subject.
last year, Peyton Manning.
You're changing.
Last year, Peyton Manning took a $10 million pay cut.
You're
Right?
changing
Remember
the
that?
subject.
But you know what? Win $2 million for this. He got all his money back. You don't lose your money.
He didn't take a pay cut. You're talking about giving money on earning it throughout the season, right? Because he was injured, he wasn't as good. You can't compare that to somebody who's earned on his playing field.
Let's just end it like this. Opening week next week, Kenny. Do you think Myles Garrett? Do you think he should be playing?
No.
Opening
That's
day.
not the question. Should be. Will he be playing?
Will he?
That's not what you asked. You said should he?
Okay, will he?
No.
You don't think so?
No. Now opening week.
And Antonio Brown will be on a team.
Absolutely not. What week one? Week one.
Brown
Neither one of them will be playing in the NFL.
Okay, but see.
Antonio Brown will be there as well.
But here's the thing.
No.
See, the difference is the NFL fully controls the Myles Garrett situation. They, like you're saying, some teams might go and say Antonio Brown might be the best receiver in the league, but I'm not dealing with it.
Right.
The NFL isn't going to get him. You're going to be hey Chargers, you have to sign him.
No.
But if they want, they will.
Right.
But Myles Garrett, the NFL is making that decision. Because I'm going to tell you this. The Cleveland Browns aren't going to – the Browns have no backbone. They're not going to go and say, well, we're suspending him for – they're going to have him say, you're starting at defensive end. If you're playing, they're not punishing him. That's on the end. So that's where the NFL has to go and say, we're not swinging helmets. It's another 10 games. That's what we got to see.
I think in the end, it's going to be a full season. He'll be back next year because he lost games this year. It'll be 16 games. Okay? He's not playing week one. Right? That's the question. And if somebody's stupid enough, Kenny, to sign Antonio Brown, it ain't Roger Goodell saying you must be in the league. It's some team going, screw it. Let's do it. I agree with you.
I would sign him, though. I'm saying on a talent.
But he's mental. They got to fix one part. I wouldn't sign him right now.
But you know the team that's going to take a chance on him? The team that they lose their receiver to an ACL injury.
Yeah, but you know what? That should have happened this year.
The Saints
were looking at
the Saints.
Yeah, and how quickly did they say it was only a look? But look what happened after that. He just got his ankle bracelet taken off yesterday. His career.
He will be in the league next year.
His career, unless look at Marshall. He found out he had bipolarism.
What Marshall?
Broncos, Jets.
Oh, okay, Brandon Marshall.
He didn't know he was bipolar. Then when he figured it out and got meds, he played in the league and he wasn't a problem anymore. So if Antonio Brown, used to are the guys that won't know the backstory and he starts playing again and go, he might be doctor's care, getting meds. He might have a problem. And he could be in the league. But that isn't the same as him being in the league because he's the same.
Kenny, last thing from me, okay? And I said this about baseball when this happened with the cheating with the Astros, okay? Here's the difference. The NFL had clear evidence the Patriots cheated in the Super Bowl when they beat the Rams, filmed the walkthrough, did this, did that. This guy got caught, that guy got caught. Bill Belichick never got a game suspension, okay? Basically, the owner of the team turned around and said, okay, I'll accept losing the first-round pick and pay you the $2 million. Basically, he's saying, I'm guilty, and we're guilty, and I'll pay for it. Okay? Okay. The NFL didn't hammer them. Look what the baseball did when, you know what? Hey, 1 year, you're not managing. 1 year, you're not GMing. 1 year, no draft picks. Baseball did it. You're right. Football never did it. Because if football would have stopped it and said, hey, Belichick, you're done, and you're done, not $1 million fine. That's nothing to Kraft. That's like $1 to you and I. It's nothing.
Whole difference.
It's nothing.
All right,
Why?
I'm going.
Briggs is leaving.
I'm leaving. I can't.
Briggs is
You're
leaving.
gonna keep bringing up.
$1 million to them is $100.
And
Exactly.
$5 million to the Astros owner is nothing either. But that's the most.
But they lost draft picks and they
Doesn't
got
matter.
suspended a year.
Not the owner.
No.
He knew what was going on.
What did he?
Yeah. Listen to people.
All right, Kenny, we're banging up.
All right.
Kenny, we got to do another show because we got to talk the February 9th trade deadline.
Okay.
We got to talk with our Knicks. Are they sellers? Morris, Portis, Smith Jr., Randall, Bullock, Ntilikina. We got to talk about this. So we got to come up one night next week.
You want to do one tomorrow?
I have something with Hoops tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow night when we get home, a little later.
All right. Yeah.
You're around?
I'm around tomorrow.
All right. Touch base with me in the morning. Let's touch base because we'll be around. We'll be home around like 8:39. So maybe we could do something a little later if you want.
All right.
All right, because we got to do something with this team. I mean, it's bad.
Yeah. The Knicks, we got to, I see some good things, but we got to change things up, shake it up a little bit.
We got to do something. So,
I think you gotta trade a couple players, get what you can get. Get Max returning now while you can.
all right, so let's do that. Let's touch base tomorrow. Thank you for coming on.
I even forgot my
No
jacket.
problem.
Briggsy forgot it. Look, you had Briggsy so
Flustered.
fired up. He's gonna leave without his jacket.
Flustered. You're coming up, right?
Yeah.
Troy
Great show.
He took the week off, so I had to. Troy Slater had to come in full effect today.
All right, Kenny, I'll give you a ring in the morning. I'll talk to
See
you
you guys.
later, guys.
Hey, Brick.
I told you I was fired up today.
That was good.